What's up?
What's up?
It's famous Friday.
It's famous
What time is it?
Friday.
What time is it again?
It's famous Friday.
It's famous Friday, baby. Famous Friday. How you been,
Famous Friday.
How's everybody been? How you been, Miss Jackson?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing good. Been anticipating this live all week.
All week. How about you, Miss Danny C over there?
Yes, doing great. And like Miss Jackson said, been anticipating this live.
I love your hair.
Oh, thank you.
It's giving. It's giving. I don't know, I don't know, but it's giving. Whatever that is, but giving. I went to protest in front of the FBI building today. Just want to let you know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who was with you? That lady from DuPage?
Yeah, I got some good footage. So when I put everything,
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's R.I.C.O time.
Yeah.
And then we made some stops at the Daily Center and at Cook County, and City Hall finest. And then we had some great tacos at this place we went to on Taylor Street. So yeah, but it was a good day today. It's R.I.C.O time. We talked to some FBI people, but we let them know that this is the third time she's been there, and they keep saying somebody's gonna call her or whatever. And I told them this time, I say, I don't want to hear it no more. Either y'all gonna call and get her documentation or not. I said, and I broke down, but we'll just see. So to be continued with that. Yes. So yes, I was anticipating this live, but I hate that it had to be. I hate that it had to be done.
Me too.
I really hate that it had to be done, but some things have to be done. So,
right.
Yes.
Well, I agree with you in terms of it needs to be done, and in all fairness, it needs to be done. It needs to be done. The names are similar. The goals, so we believed, were the same, and so it caused X amount of confusion. And so now I think that with things going the way that they're going in terms of some of the things that we want to do, like what you were talking about, pushing the R.I.C.O situation, like what you're talking about, us showing up at town halls and our roles getting more defined. Like I know the things that I'm doing in terms of, legislatively, things that we talked about, it needs to be clear. We don't need the black cloud of this confusion lingering over our heads anymore. We don't need we don't even need the conversation coming up anymore I just had the conversation as recently as a couple of days ago when the issue of P rate came up as it pertains to how it is we want to continue moving. So this is a conversation that needs to be had. And it's only fair, if the truth be told, it's only fair to me and you, Zoe. It's only fair to me and you that we have this clarifying, we're going to call it a clarifying conversation, because we worked hard. We worked hard to get this. I'm going to say, I'll put recognition last, but I know that we have gotten a lot of encouragement from a lot of people, and I'm going to say, like I always say, and it was before we even wore a T-shirt. It was before we even had a slogan. People encouraged us because they saw that we was fighting not only for our mother's properties, but they received the message that we were fighting for the betterment of Black people, period. And we got a lot of encouragement for that. And for that to now be belittled
or questioned,
or there you go, Danny, or questioned, or even questioned about our motives, our sincerity, the impact that we've made. It's not fair to me and you, Zoe. and we need to clear this up. And it's not clear, it's not fair for the other people like Danny, like Fuqua, like Molly or Joy or Nicole or other people who, you know, who've joined up with us because they like-minded in our goal. Yeah, and Dave, because they're like-minded in our goals. And so they came on board to support what we were doing and to get support for the things that they want to bring the public to. So it's just not fair to the organization as a whole for us to have to defend who we are. So we're going to use this day, this opportunity right now, not so much as to bash P. Ray, as much as it is to make clear who Chicago Flips Red is, what we own, what we about, how we got started, what our motive is. Now, in that, she will be intertwined because the goal is to make her famous.
Yeah, yeah, okay, because
To make her famous, just like
I
you said,
hate it had to be
just
her.
like we
I
said,
hate it had to be her.
I don't. She asked for it.
She
She's
did.
just like the ones down there in City Hall throwing bricks at the topic. It's almost like Vasquez. Don't you see how Vasquez wanted us to do him? It was driving him crazy until we got to his name. He wanted it. It's the same thing. P. Ray wants this. She wants us to talk about it. She wants us to, but what we're not going to do is that we're not going to bash her because we don't have to. What we can do is talk about who we are.
Yes, and tell the truth, and that's it. Period. Yup.
But we don't tell the truth because there's no way to make you famous if we don't tell the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's get into it.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Zoe.
Now, where I come
Who are
from,
you? What's your name? Wait a minute. Who are you? What's your name?
Oh, it's not up here?
Yeah, you're gonna start from the beginning. Who are you? What's your name?
Hi, my name is Zoe Leigh. And I started this fight in 2023, standing outside of 121 North LaSalle Street, all summer. Summer 2023, that's when I met Miss Jessica. I already met George previously back in January when I came to Chicago when my mother went into the hospital. And I was like, man, I gotta go talk to Lori Lightfoot because what the hell? Like, this is ridiculous when it came to that. And I met him. There was a CHA meeting going on. And I didn't know. And I said, I just want to sign up. And I went up there and he was in there yelling and screaming with his clothes on. But I was like, he was fly. I was like, he was fly.
What is 55,000?
All right.
Okay. Our car's value went up.
Nigga!
Our car's value on car value.
How are you doing?
All of them.
He was fly.
Wrong mic.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he got it together now. Okay. Now, who was the he that you were referring to?
George Blakemore.
Okay.
So I met George, and I remember going on the mic. It was back in January 2023, and was like, "Look, my mother in the hospital. I need to speak to someone about this situation with this building." And Maria Haddon had came over to me and asked for my information. Of course, I never heard from her no more. And that was back in January 2023. Summer came, started protesting outside, and I met you, Miss Jessica, and saw George again, Mr. Blakemore again. You guys you encouraged me to come in, come inside and speak on the mic, and I did. You went and found a place to put my posters because we couldn't bring the posters up in there, and I spoke, and I spoke a few times, and then my third time seeing Brandon Johnson over at the PBC meeting, I was like, look, man, I said, I was in DC, I was in Georgia when they flipped it blue. You know, if you don't settle my family's case, I'll flip Chicago red. And that was it. Like, I didn't know anything else, stuff like that. And I kept that, you know, I pushed it because at this point, I said that. Then we're going to these meetings. Me and Miss Jessica going to these meetings every day. Okay, like we're going to these meetings, every committee meetings. Then George is showing us Cook County meetings, and you know he's just showing us where to go. So after that, I didn't realize, you know, the momentum that me and Miss Jessica and others, Michael Young Bay, and Nicole and Little Venus and Miss George, like we were down there every day. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize the momentum that we were getting. And one day, this was the day that the censure thing, and with the censure vote, well, first it was board, it was ethics, you know, with Michelle Harris, Michelle Harris. So when it comes to that, when it came to that, I came down there and I had my video, my camera. A lady stops me and she says, "Oh, y'all, come on now, I can't." Michelle, a lady stops me and she says, "Hey, I'm down here because you inspired me." And I said, "Okay, cool," and kept walking. When I turned around, she had a big Trump sign. And that was P. Ray. But P. Ray at that time, she had no MAGA, nothing on or anything like that. She was just down there. When we all went upstairs, it was, you know, all this chaos and all that stuff, but we end up shutting that City Hall meeting down, you know, May Fox, all this stuff. And then I would start seeing her down there more, but this time she had braids and stuff like that. So, and you know, she would come down there, "Hi, how you doing?" She have her MAGA hat on and all this stuff. And when I really started paying attention to her is when she talked about the opiate crisis that was happening, and they were using funds from the opiate crisis and giving it to the illegals. And that's when I saw her on Fox and stuff like that. Then I saw her and Kata team up and stuff like that. So in my mind, I'm looking at all this like, okay, you know, it's a movement. You understand? Got everybody irritated, everybody mad, you know, and it went from there. And then I remember I just used to just like, I would reach out to her. Once I did the Breakfast Club, she reached out to me, and I have the text message, and she asked me, could I go on her Black Excellence Hour? And I said, yeah, no problem. And I called in. I talked to her and all of those things. And then after that, she would start just like calling me, telling me like, you know, stay away from this person, stay away from that person, stay away from this person. I'm like, look, baby, I'm trying to get this whole city red. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to hear about who got beef with who. I don't care about none of that. I need this city to turn red. Okay, it's a personal thing for me. And then she would start talking about how Illinois GOP and Chicago GOP was bothering her and messing with her when it comes to, you know, the white men being racist towards her and not putting on all that stuff. And I'm like, man, F them. We don't need them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we got this together. Like, come on, P. Ray. Like, all this stuff. And then I was trying to get this panel together. And every time I try to get this panel together, everybody like, who all gonna be on the panel? I'm like, damn, like, can we just get this panel together? And when she said, yeah, I'll do the panel. And when the day that she was gonna do the panel, this was during the DNC, she said, hey, I can't make the panel. I'm going to be, Fox called me to go to do DNC, so I have to do DNC. So
Hey, Zoe, can I ask you for 1 minute, just one thing? So before you start going down there, you never seen her down there when you was going down there?
No, I didn't not know. When I first, no, never, not one time.
Okay, so it was just okay.
That happened in November. I've been down there protesting. They didn't start, Miss Jackson and Mr. Blakemore didn't start getting me to start going to the meetings until I'll say the end of August, right?
So you have been down there how long?
Because if you look at that first video of me, and you always be talking about that blue dress and that hat, that's a summer. attire.
Okay. So you had not been
That was
down
the
there.
summer.
So all while you had been down there for all those months, every time y'all been down there, you haven't seen her. And
I
Miss
saw her that
Jackson,
one time when she said, "Hey, I'm down here because you inspired me."
yeah, but
And
before
I
then,
said, "Cool," but I never paid attention to her. Everybody was down there. That's the day I
yeah,
met
but before
Patrice.
then,
No, I never. Yeah,
okay,
but I
and
also
you,
wasn't paying. I also wasn't paying attention. But no, the only people that was down there every day was George Blakemore,
yeah,
Michael Young Bay, his wife, Miss Jessica, and me.
yeah, and y'all had been going viral, right? Y'all had been going
The
viral.
first time me and Miss Jessica, people started paying attention. Me and Miss Jessica did this press conference outside, and Miss Jessica started asking about this Invest South. She knew exactly about that Invest Southwest money, and we talked about the illegal immigrants. Stephanie Chapman, shout out to Stephanie Chapman, and Sade Gray from CBS 6 and ABC. They were the only ones that came out and interviewed us.
And that was September. That was September 27th, 2023.
Okay, see, okay. I just want to that's just clear that up.
Yeah. So August
September
19th is when
2023.
So August 19th is when I had my panel discussion. And she says, "Hey, I'm sending my vice president to sit in my spot. Fox booked me for DNC at 6. I said, "Yes, I heard. All hands on deck." I said, "Kill that SHIT." She puts a heart. So then after we were done, me and his name is Vashawn, I said, "What's your boy Instagram page that you sent so I can tag him, the Chicago Conservative? I'm not on IG, but that's his platform." I said, "Okay, thank you." She said, "How did it go?" I said, "LOL." I said, "This clip I'm about to post tomorrow," and I put a smile and a laughing emoji. "I think next month is going to be lit, though." I was like, "I F with him, though." That's what I said. And this was in August. She said, "Girl, I went to the DNC."
Of what year? August of what year?
Okay.
So then she goes, 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, this was during DNC. So she goes, "Girl, I went into the DNC with my MAGA hat on. Them MFers was speechless." I said, LMAO, that's what you're supposed to do. Right? And so then August 27th, Tuesday, she says, "Hey, girl, did you see my show that I did on Regal Theater? Can you send his story to the Breakfast Club?"
So she been trying to go to Breakfast Club with you. Now you said she asked you when you was going on there. She asked you, could you take her on there?
No. This was, I'm saying no. I'm saying that's what she asked me. Can you send this story to Breakfast Club? No, after I did Breakfast Club,
she had been on.
After I did the Breakfast Club, she asked me to be on her Excellence Hour show. And I did her show. And after she did it, it was August 18th. I said, "On the line." She said, "Here I come." After that, I said, "Thank you for the platform." Okay. And then August, that was August 27th when she asked to send a clip to the Breakfast Club. And then she says,
"Did you send the clip to the Breakfast Club?"
Yeah, I sent the clip to the Breakfast Club.
All right.
Okay. And then I text. So then August 31st, I invited her. That's when people kept saying, like, "Well, Zoe, are you going to have like some type of Zoom meeting?" And I was like, "Well, nah," but everybody kept saying, "Zoe, you got to have a Zoom meeting to see what's going on." So I invited her to that Zoom meeting. Of course, she never came. Then me, you, and Mama Doris, you said, "We're going to go over to Austin to her meeting." That was September 5th. You told me to ask her because we were at committee meeting downtown. You said text P-Way and ask her.
Who is the you that you're referring to right now?
Jessica. Miss Jessica.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you told me, you said text her and ask her if she's still having her meeting today.
So this is after everything. This is after you all had did all the work. Had been down there, had made the ground for it, had been doing every day going down there.
But she was, but at this time she going down there too because it's 2024. I mean, this is still September, but she's having her meeting. She says, "Are you having a meeting today?" I mean, I asked her, "Are you having a meeting today? And what time?" She said, "Yes, 7 p.m. and the address. I said, okay, we will be there. And we went to that meeting.
Yeah.
Me, Mama Doris, and Miss Jessica. And she was late. Of
Yeah.
course, she's always late. That's
So
a whole nother
but
situation.
she's
But
trying to act like y'all been coming to her meetings and then y'all
yeah,
were
we went
looking
to
at what
one.
she's doing.
I went to one meeting.
Okay.
Okay. And from that one meeting, I also went to, she was having something at Rebar. Now I did the Rebar thing before I even went on the Breakfast Club or anything. I was going, because it's close. I live downtown. I'm not going all the way to the West Side. When I Googled where her meeting was, I don't drive. It was like 16 buses practically to get there. Now, and then when I looked at the Uber, it was $40. I'm not paying $40 to go to the. I'm not going there. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But I went to Rebar.
Okay.
When I went to Rebar, they weren't talking about anything. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing. You know, it was about 4 or 5 people there, but nobody wasn't talking about anything. You know what I'm saying? The Rebar is nice and stuff like that, but nobody wasn't talking about. They wasn't even drinking. Niggas couldn't afford to be there. Be quite honest. But that's where you know, we went there.
Trying to support because
yeah,
you
went there.
we was all
And
on
I've
one
been to
page.
Rebar before, and it's in the Trump Towers.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so they were doing that, and at first it was her and Carter putting them together. You understand? It was P. Ray and Carter. We've been there. Me and Miss Jessica been there with Tyrone. You know, with the ex-cons for Trump.
So
they had something
everybody
there.
Trying to get along because we're on one mission.
Yeah, but me and Miss Jessica has supported everybody.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Yes, you all have.
Nobody can say that me and Miss Jessica have not went to anybody. We've supported more people here than they've supported us. Honestly. And it's not trying to hurt anybody or kick anybody, kick anybody down. But we've showed up to press conferences, we've showed up to events, we've showed up to meetings, Miss Jessica, when I got banned down there the first time, Miss Jessica was going to people's stuff. Like, we've showed up to anybody that have sent us something. We have came, we have supported. Anybody tell me to share something on my social media platform, I do it because I'm a team player. At the end of the day, I love us. I love people. We're not going to get along all the time. But however, we have to move as a unit. So I didn't care about, the gossiping and all that stuff. Like, man, we got to get Trump in office. I don't care about anything else. You understand? So then after that, so we went to that. And that was we went to her thing September 6th. And then she told me to call her. I called her and we talked about the situation when it came to be quite honest, Tyrone. It was a Tyrone situation, and I was like, she was like, I can't stand him, and I'll tell him to his face and stuff like that. I don't got nothing to do with that. It was asking about were you going to join what he had going on. I said we gotta be everywhere. I said we got to put boots on the ground. I don't care about nothing else because I wasn't around.
Because Tyrone is cons for Trump. So we all had one mission to get Trump in office and turn red. So Tyrone was cons for Trump. So that's why we got to support, because it's all one mission. Everybody on one in Chicago who trying to flip it red and want to make a change, we all focus. So, okay. But then she said she don't even like him, right?
Yeah, that's what she said. Then October 3rd was when we did the city council meeting, when we all had to when we all got these, right? So this is I say, hey, it's a person that is making shirts for next Wednesday city council meeting. The shirt says Chicago flips red. The shirts are $20 from small to large, $23 for extra large and up. Money needs to be sent by tomorrow at 5 p.m. Let me know if you're interested. She never responded.
See, it wasn't like we wasn't including nobody. We were supporting everybody, but including everybody because we thought and we're thinking we are all on one mission together. Okay.
Yeah. So then October 7th we did our town hall. That's when Chicago Free Press started doing their town hall thing. Then October 17th, she says, we got our meeting tonight. Y'all could have come here. I said, yeah, I forgot yours is today as well. So then October 20th, she sent us the Chicago for Trump MAGA rally. We went. That's the rally you spoke at, Miss Jessica.
Still
Okay.
supporting, and I, support because it's
now she did show up to our press conference that I held at our land.
Yeah, she did.
Yep. Okay. And that, but then she did come, and then after that, where did we go? We headed over to the west
side to her.
To her.
So we were trying to make it where, because South Side is so, in the West Side so far, but anything each other had, we was going to support each other. That's the way it's going to be. If she has something, we gonna have some. Because remember, you all, we're thinking we're on the same team. We all have one goal in mind. Okay.
Right. So then, she changed it because it was supposed to be on the South Side, the rally.
Yeah. It was supposed to be at the Regal.
You could have.
It was
supposed to be at the Regal.
Yeah. So I'm about to read this. I said you could have did this on my land.
Mm-hmm.
Where the press conference will be. You didn't tell me we could do it next weekend. Well, I didn't know you changed locations.
Mm-hmm.
She says that in at the Regal played with me.
That nigga. She said that nigga.
Yeah. We was gonna be in the lot. I said, oh, and that was it. So then I asked her once, everything, the momentum and everything was going on. I had asked P. Ray, since she knows about this political stuff and stuff. I said, P. Ray, I said, can you give me like a clip of you talking about the importance of us voting, what we got to do as far as, what time should we be there, how the polls work, stuff like that. So we can get people engaged because election time is approaching.
So you had a mission. You trying to get things accomplished.
She never gave me the post. I mean, she never gave it. I asked her, did she do the clip? I called her. She says, I'll call you right back. Never called me back. Then Tuesday, October 22nd, I asked her again, did you do the clip? No. Then she never responded, but I said, did you do the clip? Then Wednesday, October 23rd, that Leslie Collazo fundraiser thing that me and Patricia went to, and Dave went to too. I sent her that. She never went. Thanksgiving, I text her, happy Turkey Day, pretty. November 23rd, happy Thanksgiving, love. So she responded with that. Then November 29th was when the situation with her wanting to go to Tom Homan, the Tom Homan situation.
Let's talk about that too.
I told Miss Jessica, if they F with us at this event, I'm going to cry in front of the cameras and say the establishment is trying to marginalize the grassroots because we're black.
Wait a minute, hold on. Who said what? Now, we got to get clear. What?
She said that
who's the three? Who's the three?
Who's the what?
Who's the three that you're referring to right now?
I'm talking P. Ray. I'm talking about P. Ray.
Okay, go ahead, P. Ray. Go ahead.
I told Miss Jessica, if they F with us at the event, I'ma cry in front of the cameras and say the establishment is trying to marginalize the grassroots because we're black.
What? So she said that she was gonna do that lie. That's a lie.
But the reason why is, let me just give so the thing was, Ray Howard, a guy texted me a couple of days before this and was like, hey, did you guys get invited to the Tom Homan event? And I was like, nah. He's like, y'all ain't get no ticket. Y'all they ain't invite y'all. Like, y'all push the needle. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, send him an email. So I was like, well, I ain't really pressed to go to the whole Tom Homan thing. And so he was like, nah, like, y'all definitely need to be there. So I wrote the email. And when I sent the email, they responded back basically like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna make sure you're there. We don't care, basically. And then I had left it alone. Then maybe a couple of days later, Miss Jessica called me because I don't know, did P. Ray reach out to you about wanting to go to the Tom Homan thing?
No, I saw it because the Republican Party had sent it to my email.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
how I learned about it. Mm-hmm.
So then that's when she wrote that. So then I told her, I said, or we can protest outside of it. I said, because if they're not gonna let us in, knowing that we did make a change here, and you're not gonna use us and then throw us over here in this corner, then yeah, it's a problem. So she was like, I said that will embarrass them. I was like, so she goes, we ain't asking them for SHIT. We coming and that's it. And I said LMAO, and I said, yeah, that's all I've been trying to say. I was like that we're not asking for SHIT. I said we've been chill and sleep for too long as a Black community. I said, and we finally woke some people up. She goes, let them try us. This was their attempt to get in front of us on this. Center white men again. Nope. BITCHES. Black women run this. I said those are my favorite. Racist white people. I don't know this really was the C, but racist white people gonna respect the Black woman. So she's like, they're really upset that we are the face of the Republican Party in Chicago. So I said, yep, and they're really going to be upset. I said, because starting in January 2025, we're working on a photo shoot, which we did. And so then she was like, I was like, but they better, I was like, but they better make sure you have a table. So then that's when I went online. And I said, anybody that's affiliated, I tweeted this. I said, anybody that's affiliated with Chicago Flip Red, Chicago Red, I said, we shouldn't have no issues getting into the Tom Homan event. And then a couple of hours later, the tickets were there. Shout out to John H. For making sure that we were in there and stuff like that. But they were there. And then
John did it.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said, yeah, John H.
Yeah,
did it.
John H. did it.
Okay.
He did it.
So then December 13th, they had canceled that city council meeting, but that lady Sharon that was in their group, she came to me because she wrote something about the U.S. Constitution. That's when I started talking about the U.S. Constitution down there. And so they canceled it, and so I wanted her to make sure she still has her position. So I said, hey, P. Ray, please tell that lady Sharon, she was chosen to speak, that she still has her position to speak at 1 p.m. She had something written about the Constitution. She said, okay. Now I asked Sharon, when I seen Sharon said she ain't never tell. Okay. And then Sunday, December 22nd, I sent her the corrupt budget to remember when I did my YouTube live situation. After that, Ms. Jackson had called about the inauguration. And when we were all on the phone with the inauguration, she said she was going down there and she's getting this $15,000. They were getting a $15,000 Airbnb and stuff like that. I told her on that phone, I said, well, we're going as well. I said, so, hey, why don't you send me what you have and we can all be together in an Airbnb. And she never sent me nothing, and that was that.
See, so let's get this straight. She always kept going on. I try to include everybody. I try to be with everybody. They came to my stuff and looked at my stuff and then before. So as y'all see, those lies are debunked. We telling you exactly how everything happened and how we really tried to include this lady up into everything because it was about the mission, about us making sure Chicago flips red and making sure that we change Chicago. Okay.
And so I didn't care about them, mind you, because I'm not getting into who don't like who here. Yeah. Mind you, me and Miss Jessica, we have cases. We're fighting the establishment. We're fighting the situation. So the pettiness about, who don't like who and stuff, that really didn't matter to us because that don't have nothing to do with us. So when every time we're trying to get to another obstacle, Carter don't her and Carter ain't talking. You understand? They falling out. You understand? Tyrone Muhammad, he's an enemy. Tracy Bay, she an enemy. I'm looking on Instagram, on Facebook, she going in on Natasha Dunn. You understand? I'm like, damn, like you got a problem with everybody, yo. Like it's everybody. I said this is crazy, but I never brought it up. I never talked about it because, again, like Miss Jessica is always saying, everybody got to get to what? 4. So, so my thing is, and she got the West Side. And I'm thinking like, okay, she got the West Side. We on the South Side, whatever. I don't have time for that. We just got to get this man in office because we're under attack. You know what I'm saying? So that was the whole situation.
And she didn't like nobody. Everybody.
She didn't like anybody. But it's everybody that did something to her.
Yeah, everybody who did, they did this to me. Everybody kind of trust. We now, when you see Carter, she just trying to say what's real, make a change. Everybody who's really just trying to be in their own lane, but support everybody and really make a change for Chicago, we together. We together. We don't have no problem with them. It's her who keeps.
But that's what it was really about. You know what you just said. Everybody come together, and I always shout out Kyla, because Natasha Dunn, because like us group of people that
it's like going in and out. You hear?
No, it's like going in and out.
Yeah.
You froze, Miss Jackson. Maybe she had to come back out and go back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
spoke out about illegal immigration. Was those people over there?
Miss Jackson, you freezing up. So you might have to come back in and come back out. We didn't hear nothing.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that was. Anyway, it always.
You said you always give Carter and Natasha Dunn. That's what we got, and then it froze. It's freezing again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
so
like Miss Jessica said that Natasha Dunn was one of the first people started going down there because the whole situation with trying to open up the South Shore high school and try to put them in there.
Okay. Yeah, because that's really.
No, we can't hear you.
Yeah, Miss Jackson, you going in and out. I'm gonna have to come back in. But yeah, so that, and then Miss Carter about the field house over there on the West Side with Miss Linda. So that and Mama Doris and Miss Jackson went over to the West Side to support them when it came to the field house, and it was Miss Carter and Miss Linda that was like the people that was that was on the forefront on that. I will never forget Miss Carter saying, Brandon Johnson, I voted for you. You understand?
Yes, and I went and knocked on doors for you. She missed
yeah.
So it was like everybody was trying to support, because what they were doing was when they was putting the tents on Halstead, trying to put the tents in, so we were all just supporting everybody because it was all for one cause.
Right.
So if it was the West Side was going through, we was gonna stand with the West Side. If it was anybody else, we was gonna stand with them, because we have one goal. We know they are trying to put all these people in our neighborhoods and taking our community centers. So we're gonna go support everybody. That's how it was.
Miss Jackson. I don't know what's going on with her thing.
And so when I met P. Ray, is Miss Jackson coming in?
No, here, tell your story.
Okay, when I met P. Ray, I was so it was like around 2019 or something like that. I was talking about this because that's when a little fast forward. I had been talking about this, but a little fast forward when they started bringing these illegals in and taking our field houses and things. And so when they, so I was talking about that on my Facebook, and a girl that I went to school with named Temple, she had, you know, me and her, she was like, Danny, I'm on the same thing, whatever like that. And then she sent me a video, well, a link, and it was P. Ray Excellent Hour. She said, I know somebody who talking just like you, who would you, you know, want what you want. And so when she gave me the link, it was P. Ray Excellent Hour. I was listening to her and I'm like, wow, that's just how, you know, I feel. I'm thinking about these illegals being here. They did this. And, you know, about the loan. Me and my husband couldn't get a loan, and they got businesses popping up everywhere on our corner. So and in that live she was doing on the X, and now I was like, yeah, I like this. And then she said, well, I have to do something. I got an event I got to do, and I need to lose some weight. She said that on her Excellent Hour. So I said, but man, you know, I'm a trainer. And I love what she was doing. So I hit her up and said, hey, I love what you are doing. That's what I'm about. And I, you know, about these illegals and stuff. I'm a well-known trainer. I would train you for free just to show you I appreciate what you're doing, the fight. And she said, you know, hit me up good. She started coming to the workouts and stuff like that. And that was good. We all was on one, you know, I was what she, you know, my clients, you know, it was another thing, but yeah. And so I told her, me and her stand on my porch. I'm like, look at these illegals just walking up and down the street. Look at this. Look at this. This is ridiculous. We got to get Trump in, this and that. But after that, it was just nothing. Like you said, it was nothing to invite to say, hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that. Let's fight here. Let's do that. Nothing. So I didn't, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, okay. But when I saw you and Patricia, you know, talking on the YouTube, and you all said we're doing a town hall, and you all were applying actions, because I needed actions to be done, because talking and whatever wasn't doing nothing for me. I needed to know, what should we do? Where to start? And when I came to that first town hall and we said we did everything, then that's when you was like, let's go. You got to go to town hall. You got to go to we going to the town hall, and you got to talk about that. And that's how it happened with me, with her. And I always thought I could hit her up, like you saying, together. Hey, we doing this. You want to come? Let's do this. Let's do this together. That's how. And she'll say, I said, well, what about the GOP here? Why they not supporting you? We need to do this. I don't like them, and they don't like me, and they racist and all that. And that was just that. So that was my experience with her.
Ms. Jackson, your experience?
I'm going to try again. I don't know what this is, because my internet don't be doing this. I don't know what this is. Yeah. But like I was saying, and it's similar to what you were saying, Zoe, it was all about trying to support, trying to, thinking that Black Chicago.
Damn.
She got to get off that Boost Mobile.
Jessica, that's that droid.
Shut up. I'm on a droid. I'm on a droid.
Miss Jessica. Oh my God. Miss Jessica got the greatest story. Her story is so good, y'all.
Well, while she's doing, I'll tell you, because mine is an AKA story. How my first run in with P. Ray was actually on the internet. So I was dating a AKA. She was on the regional team, and they had a regional meeting that went on for 4 hours via Zoom. And I heard the regional director say some words, and I'm paraphrasing. Our sorrow is running for president, and our number one goal is to get her in the office. And if you ain't on board with that, then we could sit you down for 6 months. So I tweeted that. P. Ray, don't even know it, just come under my post. You're a liar, you're blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Nobody will ever say that. So then, of course, later she backtracked. It's like, you don't even know me, for one. And I heard it with my own ears as I'm walking down the stairs. So I know what I heard. Okay. We're not supposed to do that. That don't mean that y'all don't do it. And this was the regional meeting for Chicago. So that was my first run-in with her.
Miss Jessica, are you back?
You back, Miss Jessica?
Oh, and let me say this.
Yeah, do you see me? Yeah. Because I see y'all.
Yeah, but you just freeze. Like every time you're about to start talking, it just freezes. So we don't hear it.
Right now.
And so it was one important thing she told me too. She said Danny Davis is her godfather. And she said now Danny
I
Davis is a
don't know.
diehard, he's a diehard Democrat. She said Danny Davis is her godfather and she wants to get his seat, but she won't run unless he give her the blessing and he tell her he won't run.
Danny
Okay,
Davis don't even know his name. He don't even know that is his goddaughter. I don't. Yeah, so I
that's
don't.
what she
Danny
said.
Davis will die in that seat.
But that's
Die.
what she said. So Danny Davis is a diehard Democrat, and we know Danny Davis. Look at his kids. Look at where they terrible. Nothing for the community. Has done nothing.
Yeah.
So
Just
yeah,
walk around with that stick.
has done nothing for the community.
He really need to
So
get that stick back to the forest.
so that's who she said her godfather is, and that's who she said she want, and she's waiting for him to give her the blessing. All right.
Miss Jessica, you back?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again. I don't know. People keep on sending stuff to my phone. I don't know if that's what's making it because it's like
yeah,
people
probably.
constantly sending stuff to my phone. But what I want to say is that it is about the support. That's what it was always about. And that when Carter first made the statement about how when she hooked up with Natasha Dunn, that it was historical and that.
Damn. Stop sending stuff to Miss Jessica's phone.
Yeah, put it on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, Miss Jessica, you gotta put it on airplane mode and then use the Wi-Fi because
yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna drop off because I never have these problems.
You gotta put it on airplane mode.
I do lives and interviews all the time, and I don't have this problem.
Put it on airplane mode.
I don't know what this is, huh?
Put it on airplane
mode
and see what happens.
I don't know. Okay, let me go out and come back in because I don't never had this problem. I do this stuff all the time.
But if you put it on airplane mode and then leave the Wi-Fi on, it don't matter if it doesn't matter how many people send you stuff, it won't bother.
Okay, let me go off and do that.
Okay.
And so
stop sending Miss Jessica stuff. Yeah, I could have sent her this stuff yesterday.
Yeah, but let's talk about when she had that tweet when she did on X about Brandon Johnson.
So this is when stuff got real. December 24th, she wrote a tweet that says that she would no longer be talking about Mayor Brandon Johnson because
and Tiffany Henyard.
Well, she was already now. She always. That's why she started going in with Natasha Dunn. Like you act like Tiffany Henyard. Like that was she lived and died by anything. Nobody could say nothing about her about Tiffany.
She was defending Tiffany.
Yeah, I mean, go crazy. Call people out their names for her. So, but she said she was no longer going to attack Mayor Brandon Johnson. Because they're basically doing the same. They're basically attacking her like they're attacking basically attacking him like they're attacking Tiffany Henyard. And I was like, So I posted and said that ours still stands. You know how we, as Chicago Fist Red, we still stand on Brandon Johnson violating the oath, violating the U.S. Constitution, not caring about Black Chicago, not caring about Black people at all. And that we don't. Chicago Fist Red still is on their situation. So that's where I felt that it was separated. I felt that's when we separated.
Because she had started.
I wanted to make that perfectly clear because Brandon Johnson he has every right to be getting attacked the way that he's getting attacked because he's attacking us.
Right. So why are you defending him? What is your motive to defend Brandon Johnson?
Yeah, and when she did that, that's when a lot of people, everybody looked at her sideways. Anybody that was Black looked at her sideways, and then white people looked at her sideways. Yes, everybody looking at her sideways. Everybody in Chicago that day was looking at her sideways because She said after the new year. She said, so after the new year, she was no longer going to be talking about Brandon Johnson. That's what she said.
Because you got to make a friend, shake a hand, or whatever she said.
She said because they was attacking a black man or something like that. They be attacking the black man and stuff like that. So even her own people were looking like her own people, Chicago Red, was looking at her sideways.
Yeah.
Let's just put it out there because they die hard. Those Chicago Red, other people like Rashawn, Dennis, and other people, they're good people. They really want to make a change. They're diehard conservatives. They can't stand what Brandon Johnson is doing. So they know what they want. So they start like, because I can just, looking at them like, what the heck? So yeah. Miss Jackson.
Yeah, Miss Jackson. I don't know.
Yeah, so
but anyway, Miss Jackson, I'm gonna say because it's gonna keep going. Miss Jackson, you here?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All I know is real quickly, in case this phone trip. Okay, you know what? I give up because if people please stop sending stuff to my phone, please.
Mm-hmm.
I know you mean well. It's things you want to get out, but please, you messing up my phone. Because I do these interviews all the time and I never had these problems. Never. I'm sitting in the same spot, on the same phone, in the same room, with the same internet service, and I never had these problems. But I don't have people constantly coming into my phone when I'm interviewing either.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I appreciate you, but so, like Danny was saying, and like all of you have said, it was all about support. And the whole thing with Natasha Dunn and Carter coming together initially from the South Side and the West Side to come together for the betterment of Black Chicago and us fighting these illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, we tried to support P. Ray. Like, Zoe described. In the beginning, I came down there because I went looking for Natasha Dunn and them because they were fighting about the illegals over here in South Shore, which is the area that I live in. So I went knocking on doors trying to find them. Who are these people? Because I knew I was going through my situation with probate. And I knew that illegal.
And so she'll come back in. So yeah, she'll come back in. So we were and so now
we're taking our property. You know what? Let me go because they won't stop. They won't stop. And they keep messing up the phone. I just said it and they just sent me something else. So I'm gonna drop off and you all know.
I'm gonna tell the story, Miss Jessica. I'm gonna tell a story. Y'all all week, y'all been on this for 2 weeks that we were gonna do this. Y'all could have sent her all this stuff yesterday, this morning. Stop sending her stuff. Like, what
try to come back on, Miss Jessica, after a minute, once if you're able to come back on once everything's settled down. And you probably need to clean your phone too now. Says all that stuff. So now what you were saying, and let me just say this before we do it. And after that, she said that she's no longer will be bashing Brandon Johnson and they trying to attack a black man. That's when the bashing of Chicago Flips Red started. Okay.
Miss Jessica, now they went to Miss Jessica and P. Ray went to a rally. Once they went to that rally or whatever, they came back from the rally, and Miss Jessica wanted to make it very clear that there's Chicago Fist Red and Chicago Red. Now I had told Miss Doris, Miss Jackson that you really don't have to like make the comparison because at the end of the day, I don't really care. Like at the end of the day, people know who I am. People know who you are, Miss Jessica. Like it is what it is. I'm like, we're two totally different. I mean, from the branding aspect, you definitely could tell that we are definitely not over there with them. And it is not no shade, but it's a branding situation. That was all thing how I felt about MAGA. I always say like the situation "Make America Great Again" is a great tagline, but there's people who have black trashed it, and there's people who have white trashed it. So MAGA thing was always, when I go hard with this Republican thing, I got to figure out how to brand it correctly. So I never ever cared about people, basically saying that we're all together, because anybody that has, I feel like, any common sense knows that no, we weren't together. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but Miss Jessica, but let me finish with Miss Jessica, because that's it. I mean, we'll go for it. So then Miss Jessica kept saying, well, no, I really want to make this clear, so she called P. Ray. And she told P. Ray this, because P. Ray was going around saying that basically like we were all up under her. No, we weren't.
Yeah.
I'm saying but I did not care. I didn't care about the Fox News. I didn't care about any of those things, because I know that I'm a little radical. And as a person being a little radical, they ain't gonna really. I don't care about the whole Fox News and stuff like that. My thing is, I want to get this case settled. I want to get Trump in office, so I can reach out to him, so I can tell him about what's going on in the city when it comes to my case, Ms. Jackson case, whoever else is dealing with stuff. That's what I was on. But Ms. Jackson was adamant about reaching out to her, because she was making it like she ran everything, and then Miss Jackson people was sending her stuff and stuff like that. So she did. She was acting like she was stupid on the phone, like she didn't know what Miss Jackson was talking about, and she knew what Miss Jackson was talking about. So that's why Miss Jackson, every time we had city council meetings, Miss Jackson kept saying, "This is Chicago flips red." And that's Chicago red. It's P. Ray Chicago red, but we're Chicago flips red. You know what I'm saying? We're the South Side and the West Side. She had to keep making that clear, because when Miss Jackson tried to call her behind the scenes, she was acting like she didn't want to answer any of her. She didn't want to acknowledge it. She didn't want to acknowledge anything, because at that she's an opportunist. Okay, so her thing is, girl, I don't care about what you say. I said I want to be the face of it. You know what I'm saying? I went to Hampton. I'm Danny Davis' goddaughter. I'm Austin's West Finest.
Yeah.
I'm the one that was MAGA first and all that. It was like, nah, ain't nobody even thinking about any of that. So then that's how all of this weird, it started getting weird. So then coming back from DC, and while we were in DC or whatever, you're dealing with the situation with me and Vashawn, because Vashawn's getting stuff from her. You understand? So it's all this weird, it's all this weird stuff like that, this weird energy, but again, I'm not gonna address it out there, because I know who I am. And again, I know that I tried to reach out to this girl. Like, the reason why it's separated or even weird or is because she made it weird. You know what I'm saying? Because again, she wasn't for a mission. She has no mission. If you go on her website, there's no mission. You understand? When you really see, like, what is the overall goal when it comes to Chicago Red, it doesn't align with anything that has to protect the West Side of Chicago, to protect our children, to protect our communities, to protect our infrastructure, to protect the conservative values of Black people, to protect the Christian values of Black people. It was basically, hey, I'm on TV, look at me. You understand? And that's how it went. So it was always a competition on her side, but it never was a competition on our side. But because so many people gravitated to us and gravitated to you, Danielle, and
y'all started going viral.
And went viral. She started feeling some type of way, and so she thought that Vashawn doing his live on me and stuff like that, she thought that was going to shut me down. No, because at the end of the day, girl, I'm fighting the establishment, the city of Chicago, that knocked down my family's building. I don't care about it. Flip Chicago Red can be gone tomorrow. I still got to go down there and deal with my family's case. So there was nothing that was going to stop me. There's nothing no one could say, nothing nobody could do to stop my movement and stop what I'm trying to do when it comes to this. And however, I care about community. I've always cared about community because, again, I used to manage and be assistant to Dick Gregory, who was about the community. That was all he pushed. So that's what I pushed, the community. So that's why I'm a forgiving person. That's why we yell, argue, whatever, because I look at everybody like, man, we cousins. At the end of the day, we gotta get somewhere. But however, I'm not gonna deal with an op. And she was an op, and she did op stuff. She was very oppy. She gave op vibes. You understand?
Yeah.
She didn't want us to excel together. She didn't want us to be a movement together. She didn't want results. She don't want the cities of Chicago, Black Chicago, to flip red. You understand? It was for show. It was for promo. You understand? Everyone thought that girl was going to get in office, Kamala Harris. You understand? And even her. You understand? It was always for show. Once Trump got in office, that's when Maurice Robinson, the West Side Aid and all that stuff, she started being, oh yeah, that's my West Side brother. You understand? Brandon Johnson, that's my West Side brother.
Yep.
What? What are you talking? What? Yeah. We're in solidarity, huh? Like, what are you talking about? He's destroying the city. He's destroying West Side. He's destroying South Side. He's destroying downtown. He doesn't know how to govern. I don't care. He's worse than Danny Davis.
Yep. Has that your people? Ain't no way. I'm gonna look at Brandon Johnson. If he walk past for you right now and say West Side, hey, ain't no way. It's no way.
Yeah, and so that's what it was. But also, I forgot to even say this. She told me this. She said that Maurice Robinson, which is Brandon Johnson's aide, they are swingers, right? Now look at it. She said they are swingers. They swing with their wives, right? She said Maurice Robinson, baby. This is what she said. Okay, her brother, Maurice Robinson, her brother. She said that Maurice Robinson, baby, is Brandon Johnson, baby, right? And she said that Maurice's wife was going up to coming up there to City Hall and was trying to get upstairs to the 5th floor because he was trying to get some type of basically trying to get some type of DNA testing, but the police kept saying she couldn't come upstairs. This is what she said.
Is that what William J. Kelly was talking about?
Huh? But she told me this. She told me this story.
Yeah, William J. Kelly went up there and asked him.
Sure did.
Yeah, so she said that one day Maurice Robinson and Jason Leigh, which is Brandon Johnson's first advisor, got into a fight about the situation, and Jason Leigh got the best of Maurice Robinson. So then Maurice Robinson went on out to the West Side and tried to get some vice lords to jump Jason Leigh, right? And they left him out, right? And that's how the story came out. But she said that story. She's the one who put that story out here.
Remember that Vice Lord comment for my situation later. It's funny that you said Vice Lord, though.
Yeah, but she is the one who put that story out there. So if it's the baby or not, I don't care, because at the end of the day, everybody gotta go to jail because it's RICO time. However, this is your people's. This is how messy you are. You understand? You never had no intentions in fighting for the soul of Chicago, fighting for the West Side of Chicago, fighting for your kid, fighting for the kids, fighting for the violence, fighting for anything. That's why when you get on Fox News, you don't got nothing to talk about. That's why you get on Excellence Hour, you don't got nothing to talk about. That's why your website have nothing, because it wasn't about changing what we need in our communities. We have a chance. And it's gonna happen. But you love to post that picture of you and Donnie. You know what I'm saying? You love to post that picture of you and Donnie. And you love to say all this, my Donnie baby, all that stuff. If you so close to Donnie, then tell Donnie what's up with ShotSpotter.
If you so, let me say this. If you so, because she came at me saying, you know, I'm talking, she don't know nothing, she didn't do nothing. I'm in the legislative branch. I changed laws. Okay, you said you've been doing this since Lori. What needle has she pushed to educate the citizens of Chicago? What did she do? Because they managed to vote somebody even worse than Lori in, which is Brandon Johnson. So if she has had a mission, and this is what it's not about her, it's about the pushing helping the betterment of Chicago, then why I never heard about her until the friend sent me that post. Why I saw y'all down there fighting. I never saw her. You understand what I'm saying? What laws that you get implemented that helped us? If you know Donald Trump so good, why didn't you go to the White House and make sure, hey, I need to talk. Yeah, I need to talk to Trump, because in Chicago, this is what's happening in Chicago.
That's how I know P. Ray is delusional. She goes, I was good to all of you and you took it too far. Yeah, you
no, you didn't.
No, you
wasn't. She was not good to nobody.
Yeah,
I still tried to be nice to her.
Yeah, a retard.
Yeah, let me say this. I tried to be nice to that girl. She came at me on X. And I even said, she talking about you can't even talk, you can't even speak, you can't came to me. And I even said, look at God. Maybe I can't, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I can't, but look at God. He using me, who can't even speak, to talk to the world. I'm still trying to be nice. This girl did not stop. And she would not stop, because the goal to her is and I believe, because if you notice, let me put this out here. I was at the city council meeting Wednesday. I was filming. She kept talking right there about me, kept talking about me, kept talking about, my body, BBL. And I'm trying to tell you, how you gonna talk about anybody's body and look at you? Like, I work out. I'm healthy. I do what I'm supposed to do. Look at you. So she steady talking about me. So I turned the camera and said, what is your problem? And I came at her and I said, look, y'all, she don't have no MAGA gear on. And I believe after she made that post about she's no longer going to talk about Brandon Johnson, she's no longer going to do that. And as soon as that happened, she started trying to bash us, Chicago Flips Red, and she was telling people that we're scam. We're this, we're getting paid. After that, that's what she had started doing. She went live on X. She kept making these posts that we're a scam. After she made that post about Brandon Johnson, we believe that she's been meeting with Brandon Johnson because, yeah.
It ain't no we believe. She has been meeting with Brandon Johnson. It's not no allegedly.
Okay.
It is. Yo, that's a fact.
That's a fact. She has been meeting with Brandon Johnson, y'all. Then she didn't have no MAGA gear on. And so when I made that video, which was Wednesday, I said she didn't have no MAGA gear on, and she just met with Brandon Johnson, been meeting with him. Now, Rashawn took that clip. When I said she only got no MAGA gear on, this and that, and he posted that on his Facebook, on his YouTube. And he said, what is up with that? Yeah, what is up with that? Let us know. That's what.
But let me jump in here real quick before my phone, in case it's trip again. Okay. Because when I was in the chat, I saw her coming in the chat, and she said, yeah. And she said something about I was mad at a rally. Let me tell you something. Let's get this straight. I ain't never had to run up behind nobody in my life for nothing. And I sure ain't gonna start with some P-Ray. Let me tell you something. Let's talk about what's really happening here. The part that you forgot, Zoe. Let's see. First of all, like you said, we tried to support her. Everything that I went to is because I was trying to support her. Everything that I went to, she invited me there. I don't have to, I'm gonna say it again, I don't run up behind nobody. And if I do, they're gonna be somebody that got way more than me. Somebody that can offer me something, and that's something that she don't have. Me and Doris and Erica and them even went over there in South Shore. On Lakeshore Drive to support her. Gave her a copy of the agenda for Black Chicago, for her to try to run that on her show. She didn't even do that because she don't have the intentions of all Chicago. Also, you forgot to tell that story, which is the main story. And I never said it out loud, but I'm finna say it right now. I dare you try to lie on me, P. Ray.
Liar. He's a liar.
That clip, one of these clips I did, I think it was about when they hung them signs in Hyde Park, and it went super duper viral. And again, I didn't have no t-shirt on. Had no godfather, anybody plugged me into WVON. Everything I got on my hard work. Just like everything that Zoe got, she got on her hard work. Hate never plays off. It makes you look bad, like what you're looking bad right now.
But she said they lied on
Now,
her.
wait a minute. Listen. So, one of them virals, and you remember that Alex Jones said, who is this lady? Who is this lady? It's Jessica Jackson. Who is she? I didn't know nothing about no Alex Jones because I'm not into this stuff like that. Alexander texted me and told me that some Alex Jones was looking for me. And I said, I didn't even know what that was, who that is. And he said, but didn't P. Ray contact you? I said, no, I ain't heard from P. Ray. And then he didn't say nothing else. That same night, because Dana with the data had contacted P. Ray for her to try to find me. Because again, I don't be on the internet stuff. P. Ray, that's how I met Dana with the data. After we took the pictures on the stairs in front of City Hall with all our shirts on, for which I asked P. Ray, I invited her into that picture with us. When we got that picture done, I sent it to Dana with the data. And she said that she wanted to do another show with me, P. Ray, and Doris. And I told her that she had to have Zoe too, because Zoe started it, Chicago Flip Red. And then I said, and it's another one. And I was talking about you, Danny, but I didn't know your name then. I said, but she be spitting good too. I said, bring her. I'm going to call Zoe right now and find out what her name is. So I called you, Zoe, and you was at a club or something, and you was awfully upset. And you was talking about how P. Ray had got on this Alex Jones thing and was saying like, that Alex Jones was looking for me. But P. Ray had told him in that Instagram stuff that she knew who I was, but the only way that he would get to her was that if she came, he had to put her on. Come on. And the man didn't bite. And you was upset saying, how could P. Ray do that? When acting like me and her was all like that. When me and you been fighting this from day one. And I told you not to worry about that, Zoe.
He wouldn't even put you on because she was talking about you got to bring her on.
Yeah, Alex Jones did a
right, and I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, Alex Jones posted a video and reposted Miss Jackson and said, "Wow, who is this lady? I gotta get her on." P. Ray puts underneath his screenshots and out like she was talking to Miss Jackson for like an hour or something like that. It showed like the minutes and say, "Oh, that's Miss Jessica. I'm talking to her right now." She was like, "But you got to put." She's like, "He's like, I can connect you with her, but you got to put me on too."
See, and he never did. So when I called Zoe and she was upset about it,
and Alex sent me the same thing. Alex sent me in my X in my DM, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna let P. Ray handle that because she put it underneath." So I didn't say anything. So then when Miss Jessica called me, and I was like, "Hey, man, did P. Ray tell you about Alex Jones?" And she was like, "Huh? Who Alex Jones?" I'm like, "What? You didn't get?" And so then I break it down like, "Nah, you got to get on like Alex Jones or something. Like you got to get on Alex Jones' platform." I'm like, "She didn't tell you?" And I was pissed because I'm like, "This is like you an opportunist. You a whole opportunist. You know, and first of all, regardless of anything, again, you know Miss Jackson is fighting for her property. You know that every platform She needs to be on every platform. Now, this is a white platform, a big white platform.
Big one, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A super big white platform. Everybody know about Alex Jones. So everybody knows about Alex Jones. So when she didn't tell her that, that's when I was like, she's an opportunist.
But then, wait a minute, because she brought up about that rally in the chat, which is what I really want to get to. Okay. So from that, I never said anything to her about that. I never said nothing about that. And at that time, I had got super hot on the internet. So she called me after that, still never mentioning anything to me about the invitation of Alex Jones. But Zoe had hooked it up the next day. See? And she called me, texted me, and asked me if I wanted to go to a Trump rally in Wisconsin. And I was like, well, is Trump going to be there? And she said, yeah, I got VIP. And I was like, yeah, I want to go because I wanted to get my stuff to Trump. And I know that the only reason why she wanted me to go with her is because I was hot on the internet at that time. Because if it was anything genuine, she would have told me about that Alex Jones.
So what's he doing with Jackson?
So I went. Wait a minute. So we went. It was me, her, and this guy. I think his name was Paul, and another brown-skinned dude. And Paul drove the van up there. When we got up there, sure enough, we had VIP. We was like on the second row. P. Ray was mingling, you know, doing her thing. She wasn't with me. And while I was standing in line by myself, Senator Terry Bryant came up to me and asked me if I was that lady, Jessica Jackson, that be on YouTube going off on Brandon Johnson. And that's how I met Senator Bryant. P. Ray wasn't even anywhere around. She was further up in the line because, like I said, she had left me to go mingle. Then when I got inside the rally, again, she had left me to go mingle. And I was sitting there by myself. And the other people, left and right, was coming up to me telling me that they recognized me from YouTube. Going off on Brandon Johnson. That's how I met Janelle. Janelle Town, same thing. She came over to me. P. Ray wasn't nowhere around. And introduced herself to me and told me that she knew me from YouTube, and that her and Marjorie Taylor Greene be looking at my stuff and be tripping about it. That's how I met Janelle. Okay, then after Janelle left, Julie Cho came over to me. Same thing. Introduced herself to me. Yes, P. Ray got me to that rally. She sure did, because she wanted to be seen with me at that time. But all those people that I met, they came and introduced themselves to me because they recognized me from YouTube. She didn't introduce me to any of those people. And just like you said, each one of those individuals, after that, when we did talk and connect, every last one of them had a P. Ray horror story. And every last one of them have connected me to some very good people, some very nice people. And it upsets me, the fact that she would get in this with her jealousy and turn this into what it's not. Start even, I'm going to even say this, as far as to attack the conservative caucus by making false allegations against them. By saying that they paid me, they paid us, and when the only thing that they were trying to do was to just bring us, quote unquote, into their little circle. And our intention was to try to work with them.
And she didn't like it. She didn't want it.
P. didn't like it. It was driving her crazy.
But it was driving her crazy because
the straw that broke the camel's back was when they came down there, when Janelle and them came down there on February 19th. You all, had gone up to DC, but it was about maybe 6, 7 of them that came. And they, Janelle had on her Chicago flip red, other ones had on red shirts and stuff. And Skylar and them came, very nice. And Blake Moore saw him. He was shocked that white Republicans had come down there to support us, because white Republicans wasn't in City Hall like that. We were down there bringing the attention to the Republican Party, because you said about your property, Zoe, and I had said about mine, that if these Democrats down here in this local election wouldn't help us, then we would spin Trump in at the federal level. That we was going to flip this red to get him in office. It had absolutely nothing to do with P. Ray.
At
No,
all.
And
I
matter
didn't
of
even
fact,
know who a P. Ray was.
when I went over there to the West Side, like you said, behind doing that Southwest Invest press conference, Doris is the one who me and Doris worked on that press conference together because, again, George gave me Doris' phone number. He got it from Tyrone. And
Everybody
Doris
together.
helped me, yes, and Doris helped me do the press release. And then after then, I told Doris, because Carter and them had started their protesting about a month apart over there on the West Side. And I told Doris, I said, you know what? Since I'm sitting up here talking about this Southwest money, if I'm going to talk about the West Side, I guess we need to go to the West Side.
Yeah.
And that's when me and Doris went to the West Side. Again, just like Carter had come to the South Side, which was historical. It was historical that me and Doris went to the West Side. And when we got over there, that's how I met Carter Trust. That's how I met Linda Johnson. That's how I met Mark Carter. That's how I met J. Maul Green. That's how I met Yali. That's
Everybody
how
who's
we met
trying to do
all
something.
right from the West Side.
Everybody who really trying to
And
do
P.
something.
Ray was there. Wait a minute. P. Ray was there. That was the first time I had seen her. And I had got up and spoke from the podium, and then Doris got up and spoke from her seat. And after that, they was feeling some type of way, them preachers and stuff, because we was calling them out. So then they was saying how we shouldn't have been able to talk no more because we didn't dues. Only dues paying members could talk. And so then that's when P. Ray got up, and I never will forget. She went to the podium, she slapped down a $50 bill and said that she was paying her dues. And now she was going to be able to say and talk what she wanted to talk. And she said her little speech and stuff, and at the face of it, it seemed impressive. You know, and that day, me and Doris tried to, you know, make eye contact with her, nod, you know, like that, and she was very standoffish from that. But Carter and them, you know, and especially Mark Carter and them was real nice, and Yali and them. And then after that, Carter and them started coming down there. P. Ray still wasn't coming down there yet. Carter and them was the first West Siders that was coming down there.
Well, which one is Carter?
Carter. Carter that be on the show with Tyrone Muhammad now.
Carter Trust.
Yeah, Carter Trust. Because remember, me, Carter, and Michael went down to Springfield for that school board initiative thing that Natasha Dunn was doing.
Yeah.
Everything was good. Right. Everything was good. We was seriously just trying to save Chicago. When Mark Carter did his press conference down there in the lobby of City Hall, you see me standing in the background supporting him with that. Erica and them was there for that. Everybody was trying to come together and just do what was best for the city. So I brought that up about the $50 thing because of what happened at City Hall the other day. Once she started attacking us last week, and she made that comment about how Miss Jessica need to worry about how she gonna be able to stay in her place. Oh wow, P. Ray, you gonna make a mockery about my situation that you know I'm sitting up here fighting? And I couldn't believe that because when she had posted a few months back that she had an electrical fire in her house and that she didn't have nowhere to go, and she had put a cash app up there asking for donations, I sent P. Ray $50. But then you gonna turn around and try to mock me?
See,
so when we was in line at the last City Hall, and that's when she came from the press conference you talking about, Danny, where she had, you know, had been up there in Brandon Johnson office and all of that, yeah. And then, but Dennis and them was downstairs in the line in the hallway with us. And the people who she was with was right there in the front of the line. They were standing there already when I got there. Okay, fine. P. Ray comes down. She go right to the front with them, cut the whole line. It's like, whoa, wait, what you doing? Then here come Maurice. I already knew then it's finna be some stuff because Maurice don't be down there like that.
No MAGA gear. She had no MAGA gear when she met with Brandon Johnson. And if y'all notice in any of her things,
She
she
had
don't
on a hot
match.
red dress. She had
She
on
don't.
a flashy red, bright red dress, but she didn't have on no MAGA hat, no MAGA gear, nothing like that when we was in the up there Capitol Hill, where she had this great big old MAGA cowboy hat on with glitter,
Yeah.
with a red sweater, sitting over here on the Republican side. But then when Brandon Johnson came in, she
What you
West
say?
Side in the building. And of course, you know, just by instinct. If somebody say West Side, yeah, somebody comes from South Side gonna say South Side. That's just natural instinct.
Right. That's
You
culture.
can be in church. You'd be in church and somebody say West Side, somebody gonna say South Side. That's the way that go. And she knew it when she had that plant behind us to record us, that she was gonna pick that fight.
Yeah.
And you got
Yeah.
that
Racist Mariah.
video, and you get ready to play because I'm getting ready to drop off. I just wanted to make it clear that yes, she did invite me to that rally, and I did go. You doggone right, I did. Just like she took me with her. She doggone right, she did.
But think about she's when we go together, do you ever see her? She always state when she made in one video, she was talking to somebody, and it's my heart because I try to include everybody and all that. You don't even include your own people.
No,
Why
she
you
tries
take your?
to take the credit. She tries to take the credit for everything.
But
That
let me.
was the conversation that she and I had. You
Yeah.
know, Ray, you know that is two separate groups. You know, I have been on different podcasts with her, and the host would say, yes, so you are Chicago Red. And and then she would just go talking on it. And when it would get to me, I would make the correction that no, it's Chicago Red and it's Chicago Flip Red. I
Yeah.
had to do that several times on podcasts with her. And then when we did when I tried to have a telephone call with her and she wouldn't do it, that's when the next day at City Hall, when I did public speaking, I said it right there in front of Brandon Johnson, that it was two groups of Black Chicago that was after him. Chicago Red, pointed to P. Ray and them, and said, we Chicago Flip Red, and pointed to us. Again, to make sure, try to make the distinction clear. And she took that and just got mad about it, and
She been
everything
mad.
evolved from that.
She
So,
been
you
mad.
know, she been mad, and what
She
she's
been.
mad about is nothing that nobody's going to do anything about. Because if you're mad that we standing up for Black Chicago, then you're going to be mad. If you mad that we going to stand against Brandon Johnson, then you're going to be mad. If you mad that we're not going to endorse Danny Davis or no other Democrat in this city, you're going to be mad. If you're mad that we in places with the Republican Party and Donald Trump know who we are because he sent us love notes and didn't send you one while you running around here talking about my Donnie, then you gonna be mad because it ain't your Donnie, it's Milani's Donnie. That's whose Donnie it is. And you need to leave him alone. And I'm finna drop off this and y'all go ahead and finish it up.
Yeah. So good. Thank you, Miss Jackson. Thank you for getting that straight.
And go run them clips and go play them and show those pictures when wasn't nobody hating. We was all being together, trying to be nice, trying to be supportive. But when that jealous demon gets up in you, the Bible even warns us about that spirit of envy, coveting. This is what it leads to. And that's why we're warned that it's such a dangerous spirit, because it comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But we are Chicago Flips Red. And we still here. We're going to be here. We're going to move the way we want to move. We're going to do what we say do. And we're going to keep on moving because we got a lot of support. We got a lot of support from a lot of people here in Chicago and in other places.
All around the world.
All around the world. And people have been nice to us. People have been kind to us. And any friction we have with anybody, we are capable of working it out.
Yes.
So we're gonna move forward.
Please say we tried to ignore this.
Yes,
For
we
a
did.
very long time.
Yeah, we did.
For a very long time. For a very long time. But when she saw me in that hearing And she's realized that she was not going to be able to come back to Chicago and boast about how she was the only person in that room. She was the only one who could get in that room. That drove her crazy.
Her name was on the seat. Wasn't your name on the seat too, Ms. Johnson?
It just said reserved. I didn't see her name on the seat. I saw it said reserved. And
Yeah.
I know they told you to sit right there and sit right there.
Yeah, and she's not even, and see, the problem is with her, she keep acting like she's a people person. She don't even take care of her own people. When they wanted to go down there, listen, they wanted to go down there for the when Trump celebrated Black History. Let me just say this: Miss Jackson got y'all, Chicago Red, Vashonda, Miss Jackson got y'all to the inauguration, going to that inauguration ball. Miss Jackson did that, and Miss Jackson did that for you all. She wasn't thinking about y'all. And when President Trump sent us that letter saying, invited us to the White House for Black History Month, she could have invited you all. She could have, but you notice she didn't. She went back herself. She didn't say, "Hey, I got Chicago Red here. These are my people. I want to bring them." If she so much with Donnie and he loved her so much, of course he would have did that. Why she didn't bring y'all? Because it's when it counts and y'all need to be places where it's important and you all can get recognition and meet people. She don't care. She don't want to bring you all. At that hearing, she could have brought you all, or she could have had y'all in the building. You all, she didn't even invite y'all because it's about her. In Chicago Red, you all are starting to see that. I told you
she can't even do a rally like on the West Side, like literally, like the one rally that she had that was like on like a busy street, people got into it with Chicago Red and all of that, and instead of being there to protect her people or whatever, like she let Vashawn get detained.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, Vashawn has a wife. Vashawn has kids. Vashawn is your vice president and all this stuff. And he's protecting you. You understand?
And then he could go get them.
They all in your face. You understand? But you drive off. Leaving Mr. Dennis to take care of that. You know what I'm saying? Like you late to the y'all was about to fight at the airport. You know what I'm saying? Molly catching video. Y'all about to fight at the airport. Vashawn had to say something. You know what I'm saying? Like you all like you are opportunists. You've been an opportunist. You don't care about your group. You understand? Yep. You don't care about their safety. You don't care because you're trying to get one thing, and that's Danny Davis' seat.
That's Danny Davis' seat. Because even with her own people, I'm the one who told Dennis, come down to public speak. She had been around him all that time. Why didn't she tell him to come public speak? Yeah. And the next thing you know, now here came Vashawn. And Osorio, but that came from me telling Dennis, come down to the public speak. Even when Osiris when he was on a panel on TV, and that night when me, you, and Doris went over there, he told me that he was going to be on this panel about Kamala Harris. And I said, well, she did this and she did that. And he was like, wait a minute, I didn't know about none of this. I said, yeah. And I gave him information about that. I even went so far as to call one of my friends in California to verify some of the housing information that he had given me about what Donald Trump had done in terms of modifying interest rates and stuff when he was in office. And I gave all that information to Osiris for him to have so that he would be prepared when he was on that panel. I don't get it. That's why I was so thrown when I saw Vashawn's video and saw him just sitting there lying like that, making we was running up behind them and talking about, they was all running up behind us and running about, and they stole our name. I'm like, I cannot believe that he's sitting here lying like this. Mm-hmm. Why are you lying like this? And even if it was something about whatever issue he had with you, Zoe, he could have made it about you, but it still didn't have to be online. He should have called you and talked to you about that instead of airing that in the internet like that. Yeah. But clearly, it wasn't even about attacking you. It was about attacking the organization. Because he
Chicago
put
Flips
that
Red.
in his
Yeah.
caption, expose Chicago flip bread. He came after the organization, him and P. Ray, out of jealousy. They came after the organization. Now, whatever he learned about her later on, that's between them. But as it pertains to that move right there at that time, that was an intentional attack against us by him and P. Ray. Yes. Yes. And then when he had opportunity to make it right, he doubled down. Start talking about what he was. Look, she went over here to this. Were you talking about me speaking at that event that you talking about? It was supposed to be at the R.I.C.O, and then we came back to the West Side and went back there. You don't know the difference between being in a meeting and being invited to be a speaker at an event? You don't know the difference between those things? You don't know that that's something different from a press conference? You don't know that those things are different things? You don't know the difference between somebody running up in your meetings and somebody
supporting?
Somebody responding to an invitation.
Between her being at an event
to an invitation.
At that time, Miss Jackson was hot everywhere. She was viral everywhere. You understand? She was viral everywhere. So the only reason why she went to the press conference is because she needed Miss Jackson to come over there for that rally.
Me and Afro
rally, and Miss Jackson spoke. I posted that.
Yeah, I posted it.
Afro Leigh, everybody came. Yeah. So we went to that. But that's a difference between going to a weekly meeting.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. And you don't know that? And you don't know that? You don't know the difference between somebody inviting you somewhere and you responding and you accepting that invitation. You don't know that that's different from coming up in the
Chicago Flips Red shirt on.
You understand? Well, I don't get any of that. The things that he tried to quote unquote bring to the forefront that night on his live, those were things that had been dealt with months before then. Me and Michael Young Bay was with you, Zoe, when you went and did your put your independent thing in, and we told you then. Well, how do that make sense, Zoe? And you said the same thing then that you said now, because I'm gonna do independent. People don't want to vote, and they vote for me, or something you said. And me and Michael Young Bay was just like, okay, whatever, and we just went on. That was old information. Well, you know, what was that about? And then, like you pointed out, Danny, which I had never pointed that out before, this very inauguration, Bashan, that you went to, that Osiris went to, that Dennis went to, that was by way of my hookup. That lady in Florida gave me that link and told me to just put us 6 on there. And matter of fact, when I showed her our picture, and again, us being kind at the borders are telling P. Ray, come on, you can get in our group picture too.
And then when y'all got the tickets to Tom Homan, then you invite P. Ray, and then he can invite me.
Well, this is how that happened. Going back to what Zoe said about P. Ray texting saying that she was going to stand out there and cry and make a ruckus in front of the thing if they didn't give us tickets, right? So she had told me the same thing. And I was like, well, you know, I ain't going to be outside being out in front of no thing, making no ruckus, you know. I'm too old and too cool for that. And it ain't going to come to that. Come on, let's make some calls. So she puts us on the 3-way with the man who sent the email to you, Zoe. And so when we're telling him, and I'm telling him like the same thing you said, that we've worked hard. How is it that we can't get nothing? We can't get nothing from the Republican Party. We the one who putting y'all on the map. And I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. But then in the midst of him saying he'll see what he can do, John H. text me and say that he has me a ticket, and then for me and P. Ray. And then I say, do you have one for Zoe? And then he said yes. And then I think, Zoe, you went back to him for another ticket for Danny or something like that. And then he told me, Yeah, then he told me he was gonna we could have 5 or something, and that's when we bought in Dave, something like that. But that's how that ticket thing happened that night. And so we basically had our 5, and then it was John, and then P. Ray had her people, and I was shocked that it wasn't Dennis, it wasn't Bashan, it wasn't Osiris. Now that's not to say that the other people that was with her weren't, you know, friendly enough like that. I'm just saying I was shocked. That it wasn't, you know, her, I would say, core group. Beverly Miles wasn't even with her.
Well, her vice president and all, exactly, because they did, yeah, exactly. So yeah, she don't care about her own, you know, she don't. She really don't.
Yeah, she
And we
don't. She
saw
don't care
that
about them. Beverly Miles. She don't care about you. At the end of the day,
first
and that's
time.
and this is coming from me, not nobody else or whatever. Like at the end of the day, she knows what you went through when it comes to you losing your job, which is some BS. When it comes to the whole situation with running for office and stuff like that, she's had plenty of opportunities to get you on plenty of different platforms because of who you are and who and what you are, and at the end of the day she didn't do that. You
Because she
understand?
don't,
She's not a team player.
You know,
First
so
time.
let me just let me make this real clear so that y'all can make the screen bigger. I'm gonna jump off. She gave me the $50 back when we were in line at City Hall last week because I kept saying, P. Ray, give me my money, give me my money, give me my money. And so then she gave it, she gave it to this lady that was standing with her to hand to me. She didn't she wasn't courteous enough to give it to me herself. And so a lady, one of the ladies in a red hat gave it to me, you know, and at first I was like, no, the person I gave it to need to give it to me. And then Beverly Miles kind of like shook her head like that. And I went on and took it. But I said that to say this, and I made the reference about the $50 bill at that event at a Munson Park. I know that and have learned that P. Ray is very calculating, very calculating. And I know that more than likely they had it arranged. That's why R.I.C. was down there for her to be able to public speak. And what I believe, like they say in legal terms, based on information and belief, what I believe is that her plan was to, during her public speaking, she was going to do that same $50 move. And now, Miss Jessica, here's your $50 from Chicago Red to Chicago Flip Red. Something like that to make it look like she was giving me $50. Like she was giving me back some money that didn't. She was gonna do something like that. But because I stopped R.I.C. from giving her opportunity to speak, because I called him and I'm like, Danny, film it, Danny, get it on your phone, get it, you know, and because I kept calling her out, she went on and passed it back before we got upstairs. But you can't make me believe that it wasn't her plan. Because in this day and time, not too many people carry a $50 solid bill around in their purse like that.
Yeah, she
It was calculated, but she didn't get to pull it off the way that she wanted to pull it off. But I didn't want to leave this live leaving the impression that she did not give me back that money, because in fact she did. I want to, you know, give her, clear that up in all fairness. And other than that, you know, y'all go ahead and get down, handle it. Fuqua, play them videos, show those videos and stuff, Fuqua. And the pictures and stuff. So y'all go ahead and do it. What's up, Molly?
Hey, what's up?
We haven't figured out how to show them, but you could hear the audio. You want to play your video from the Senate?
Yeah, and then y'all go ahead and get jiggy, not too jiggy, but y'all go ahead.
No, we keeping it real classy and telling the truth. We ain't been to bash nobody like we ain't doing that. We just telling it like it is, because this is the op at this point. You working with Brandon Johnson and you are op.
It's infiltrating a mission that is growing and it's going to continue to grow. And she was told by Brandon and that terrible embarrassment of an administration that he has to attack us. And it ain't gonna work. You understand? Because ain't nobody playing with you. Because even nobody's not playing with you, Patricia.
It will not work, and it has not worked, and it doesn't have the power to work.
That's right.
Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna drop off, and y'all go ahead and go and play the stuff.
Okay, Miss Jackson. Thank you.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
Mhm.
So yeah, my Facebook been blowing up lately. I've been getting like 20, 30 ads a day.
Mhm.
So if people remember that group that they started, all women group, are we dating the same guy and all that? So X posted me in that group. So I infiltrated the group, by the way. So I'm in that group. And I went back to see, like, hey, was I posted it or something? So I go back to the original post, and guess who comment I stumble upon under the post about me? P-Ray. So she loves to jump under people's posts, barking
Always.
like a chihuahua. Then when you reply back, I can't believe you did that. Play victim. She did that on Twitter. That's why we here today.
She did.
She got the same. This is well over a year ago, so she's still using the same damn lines to men. She goes say, y'all told. Hold on, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. That's the second one. She said, y'all go get enough of giving coochie to these sassy men. Look at him. Does he look like a masculine protector? I'd rather date a vice lord than a pluckered lip, neck rolling, emotional, high value man. So, like I said, I infiltrated the group. So I commented on my page, my normal page, and tagged her in it. This is at the time that she had her little show. So she goes say also, I don't care. All he's doing is bringing attention to my show or whatever. Yeah, the show that you got kicked off, and you claim you got kicked off because they lied on you. So it's funny how everybody's lying on you.
Right. Nobody like you, but it's their fault.
Yeah.
Then she goes say, y'all told him I said he was sassy, and now he's going to take me on Judge Mathis. Tell that man to take his hands off his hips and put some bass in his voice. So it's funny because when we met, she was all in my face though. Right. And also when we met at your event, so she didn't know who I was. So now when I said something to her, about the AKA incident, then I'm like, she was like, who are you? And I'm like, Fuqua. And she was like, oh, it's not ring bell. I said, oh, you don't remember the AKA comment? I'm a liar. Oh, hey, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Then she trying to get me to come to the West Side to her event and all that. It's like, P-Ray, get out of here. So I made on the comment, I tagged her in and I said, you got a lot of nerves. Don't worry, I would never look your way. You're very masculine. So that was back then. Now, when, they wrote that article about that group, they described them. They said Magna wears none of us wears Magna. Okay, we don't wear Magna hats. We don't wear no Magna gear at all. And then they said cowboy wearing whatever. They wear the cowboy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just said they got the picture of the wrong group. That's all I said. She goes on there and say how I attacked her. I said it was her. No, I said the wrong group. I didn't say your group. I said the wrong group. And it just blew up on that. And I guess she thought I wasn't supposed to respond.
She thought.
Right? Because I'm a man.
But if the hat, wear it.
Say it again.
If the hat fits, wear it.
Exactly. So, but she didn't want to. So I'm not from the South Side. Well, you say your people are. And don't she go to the South Side to drop off one of her kids, I guess? Go to the South Side?
I don't even know if people from the West Side.
Her daughter goes to school next to Kenwood.
Right. So it was funny how she kept talking about every other thing except the MAGA cowboy hats. And I'm like, well, who wears cowboy hats? She would not address that in any of the comments that she said. Then she keeps throwing shade, insults, the sassy. So you already know when a black woman losing an argument, they go into you're gay, sassy, you're broke, or you got a little small wee wee. Those are the number one hits anytime they can't make an argument. So she went to the sassy, or go talk to a man. Okay, bring one to me so I can talk to him. Where your man at?
They not
talk to him.
They tired of this garbage. See, the men, her people tired of it. They only want to make a change in Chicago. Her people are tired of her because they not for this she starting stuff and then putting the men in there because one of them could get hurt. Like you said, Rashawn got a family. Dennis is older. Ain't nobody on this. They just trying to change Chicago. She want to jump on the everybody post, start somewhere, everybody, and then want her guys in the group to defend her and get them hurt. They tired of that. They don't want that because they didn't sign up for that. They signed up to help Chicago. That's it.
And you know what? I just kept going back and forth for shits and giggles. And we grew up roasting. Y'all, they call it bullying now. But as a black kid growing up, we talked about each other. That's how we, you know what I'm saying? So anybody in Chicago, you know how to roast.
And that's what we was, I was trying to explain to some of my white friends and stuff. They were like, "Is this a division?" I was like, "Oh, no. This is about to be the best roast that you're gonna ever see." I'm like, it's like Mr. Gregory used to say when it used to be some like white stuff that I didn't understand that was going on like in the world and stuff, and I'd be like, "What's going on?" He'd be like, "Oh, that's white folks' business, baby." So baby, yeah. So this is black folks' business. Like my white friends, this was something that had to be done because like even like she had started crashing out March 4th. That was the day before the Senate. Like once she saw, she must have had, because Miss Jessica, she was there, Dave was there, Afro Elite was there, but me, my mom, and Danny, we flew in Monday. I think it was Monday. We came in Monday, so that was March 3rd, and she deleted this from her from that's when we decided, that's when you guys were going back and forth, and we decided, what, we're going to make her famous. And she wrote underneath one of my, and she deleted it, but of course I screenshot.
She always deletes it.
Yeah. Under her Black Excellence Hour Facebook page, she was like, "Zoe, we all see you for what you are. You're not fooling anybody. I've just been granting you grace and being quiet about it. You're not from this city. You're looking for a way to validate yourself, and you're not going to do it on the backs of my people. The backs of your people, you are a clown." Now that right there is the backs of my, the backs of who? The backs of my mama, who's from the South Side, born and raised. My sister, who will be 59 tomorrow, born and raised in the city of Chicago. Like, I mean, who?
Who? Don't nobody like you here.
What backs? Looking for a way to validate myself. The city of Chicago, it took they knocked down my generational wealth. What are you talking to validate myself?
That's how you know.
That's that undiagnosed. That's why I'm out here trying to fight for us, because she needs mental health. Like she, and even with this, last year, she even, this was crazy. This was sent by someone, and it says, "Hello, I'm dropping this right here. P. Ray has since deleted this evil tweet when she got ran down after posting it. Your audience may be interested in knowing how she feels about a black woman who was murdered by the police. Not a nice person at all." So, Sir Major puts, this was 3/9/2024. He puts justice for Breonna Taylor. She writes, "I never understood why Breonna Taylor's story never includes the fact that she was selling drugs with her boyfriend on the jail phone, and Kenny says she shot them on the dash cam. Did anybody read the transcripts or view tapes? The moral is selling drugs on the jail phone is serious."
See?
You show it to the screen so they believe you.
We're going to get it together, y'all.
Yeah, sure. She said that. She did that. Yeah.
I saw that screen, but she deleted that.
Yeah, so we got all the deletes. But I'm just saying, like, that's what she does. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she throws a rock and has her hand a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Brandon Johnson.
Yeah. And she said that the white Republicans was behind. They were paying us what she say they was she said the white Republicans.
They were paying us to go after Brandon Johnson and go after the go after the Democratic Party in Chicago. No, this is grassroots. This grew from frustration, like Ms. Jackson says, from not getting help from your own local Democrats, from the state. Like I said, I went from the local to the state to the federal. I'm pretty sure Ms. Jackson did too. So that's my thing was, this is bad customer service. We're not going to get no help. Nobody's not going to settle this case. Clearly, nobody's going to settle her case either. Everybody that's seen all the stuff we done explained in all the 3 minutes that we've explained. We clearly did about 3 billion minutes down there at City Hall for 2 years. So everybody knew, what our struggle was. And the crazy thing about P. Ray, to me, is, and this is what we forgot to do in the beginning, and this is what I always do, to introduce the people. But, I want to say this. So Patricia P. Ray Easley is a political commentator and activist based in Chicago. She's known for her conservative viewpoints and efforts to shift the political landscape within the Black community. She once hosted the Black Excellence Hour on WVON 1690 AM until they kicked her off. Chicago, aiming to promote conservative values among Black Chicagoans. However, when anybody would call in and talk about Danny Davis, Emma Mitz, anybody like that, and would say, like, look, they're not doing nothing for the community, I understand. Like, she would, y'all not gonna talk about Danny. Y'all not gonna talk about Emma Mitz. To the point that she said that the reason why Emma Mitz voted for the budget was because she was tired of hearing me and Miss Jessica yell. And we were yelling at her. First of all, I wasn't even there, but she said, we was yelled at. But the reason why Emma Mitz voted for the $820 million was because we were yelling at her.
But if you live for the cheers, you're gonna die by the booze. So she shouldn't be in that position if that's the case anyway.
So then P. Ray began her civic involvement as a child in the Chicago West Side NAACP. So that's the problem right there.
NAACP. Danny Davis,
with her parents. She was the youth council president for the chapter and traveled around the country attending conferences, learning about civil rights and American citizenship. However, she noticed that something was wrong. The future president, with whom she interned as a high school senior in the Illinois State House, Barack Obama, and his policies broke her heart. Housing options on the west side of Chicago were being demolished after they were foreclosed upon during the 2008 housing crisis and Obamacare's employer mandate. Now, if you were out here upset about the housing options on the west side with what she's saying being demolished, you know what I'm dealing with, you understand? And what Ms. Jackson dealing with, you never ever was out here fighting about the housing situation that's going on with us. So if you that was one of your fights as an activist, the housing crisis during the 2008 housing crisis, and everybody know about that. Then you talked about the Obamacare's employer mandate, American employers to only offer employees 29.5 hours a week to avoid providing health insurance. P. Ray was deeply saddened by the state of her country and went into political exile to protest the federal and local administrations moving to the sunny Republic of Senegal in West Africa in 2016. While in Senegal, P. Ray worked as an English consultant for international schools in the capital city of Dakar. She began working in international education in 2010 as a co-founder of I.Q.R.A. Bilingual Academy, West Africa's first and only bilingual international school with American accreditation. She became fluent in French and built international contacts. While working at I.Q.R.A. and 3 other international institutions, she was exposed to the global elite and saw firsthand how wealth knows no color and an American passport opens doors and create opportunities. Her patriotic esteem was born on the shores of West Africa after the administration changed in 2016. P. Ray returned to America because she knew that a businessman who worked in real estate
on the floor in your room.
Who's that talking?
And I watched some other stuff that was on the floor in your.
All right. P. Ray returned to America because she knew that a businessman who worked in real estate would be concerned about employment and housing, so the conditions in her city would improve. In 2017, she was invited to participate in the Young Black Leadership Summit held in the East Room in the White House, hosted by the president. Standing in a room the slaves built, screaming, "We free!" with fellow freedmen was a life-changing experience for her, and she came back to Chicago to organize her conservative causes. She holds a BS in finance from Hampton University, HU, and an MED from the University of Illinois, Chicago, in language, literacy, and culture. So yeah. So that's
now, did you say she worked for Obama?
She interned.
Okay, because I checked with my source and they said they never seen her in the White House.
So where did you get this from? This came from her resume?
She interned at the Illinois State House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you was talking about the White House. Okay.
Okay. So now you were here, so you saw all this injustice, you seen all of this, and how did we move the needle since Chicago flips the red? I just want to know. Why not quiet? I'm serious. Oh, everything that she, and you know what? Let me say this.
But the crazy thing is, like, she got a dope ass bio.
That's what I'm gonna say.
So because her bio is so dope, there's no reason why she should be bothered by us.
That's what I'm getting ready to say.
It's just her as a person. Because she shows
that's just her as a person.
If you follow on Twitter, literally you will see random people. She just go in there attacking them and barking. Or she'll say, "Oh, get out of my Chicago business." I don't know why people think you have to be from Chicago to do something about Chicago. That irks me because the people from Chicago ain't been doing nothing.
That's right. That's right.
You know how many times we have been in spaces, me and Miss Jessica, and they say stuff like, well, this was even before Trump got in office and stuff like that, and they'd be like, yeah, because, see, we've been doing this for 30 years and 20 years and stuff like that. And it's like, so you got to do it this way. Clearly, the 30 years and the 20 years is not working. Okay, clearly it's not working. So let's try it this way. Clearly the way that me and Miss Jessica and other people are figuring out too, because don't get it wrong, you got Carter and Tyrone Muhammad doing their thing. You got Mark Carter doing his thing. You got Mama Doris doing her thing. You got Charmaine and Natasha and everybody else doing their Everybody has created their lane.
Yeah.
Everybody has created their lane, and we all show each other love. Except her.
Because it's not about like you said, it's about opportunity. She wants to be in the spotlight. She wants to do this, and it's a threat because she don't have a pure heart. She's not in it to really help Chicago, because if she is, we all have differences. We all can get into it. But if we know our main focus, because we don't have to agree with everything that everybody doing.
Anybody that looks outside and see our communities and it's 2025 should all be concerned. Should all be mad. Should all be asking where the money is. Should all be down there at City Hall. Should be asking for forensic audits, because I did the forensic audit from Charmaine. You understand? For Charmaine, because we were asking for audits. I was just saying, like, man, somebody, y'all stealing. I know y'all stealing. You understand? Like, niggas, if y'all need an audit down here. And I remember Charmaine coming down there, and with her guy, shout out, I can't think his name right now, but shout out to Sabian. And they both said, like, yeah, it's a forensic audit. You got to ask for a forensic audit and stuff like that. And she sent me all the information with the forensic audit. But, like, everybody was asking about the money. But she, if you think about it, she never talked about that money. Yeah, she talked about the immigration thing, because that was the only thing that was going to keep Fox News was just really into the whole immigration thing. But she wasn't ever talking about that money.
Or because it would make Brandon Johnson and the Democrats, her people.
Yeah.
Her bed. That's why exactly. And that's why the smear campaign started when she really started, when Brandon Johnson, see, long as we wasn't moving the needle, wasn't nothing happened, that he didn't care. But now when what they start calling for his butt to come down there, when they start saying Tom Homie coming here, when they start really listening to us, then Brandon Johnson like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he sent P. Ray. Like you said, then here come the smear campaign against us.
Yeah, I mean,
And
she's disrespectful. Shout
yeah,
out to Prohibition TAC Cafe. That's Tyrone Muhammad's, and that's black owned. There was they were having a grand opening. She could pull up in there, rude as hell. How you
see,
pull up to somebody's grand opening, rude as hell, trying to start stuff?
see,
Understand? You raggedy. She's a
record.
raggedy individual.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like, we're out here trying to Tyrone out here trying to make a change. I don't care what you feel about him.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That you weird.
Yeah.
You
You
weird.
attack
And
everybody.
you go into these places, start your stuff. It's like you want somebody to hit you or do things like that so you can play the victim or get them in trouble and stuff like that. Like, you are agitator. You are paid. You are a paid agitator for the administration, for the Brandon Johnson administration.
She is. Because you know what? In that video, that's all the comments. When Rashawn posted that clip of that video, they said, how she gonna sit up there and start with you and she pull a Karen? Talk about help after you just started it. You see what I'm saying? Huh?
What video?
The video that I was Wednesday. No, Wednesday, when we was down at City Hall, she was starting.
City council meeting.
The city council. She started with me, talking. I'm live. She just talking, sitting right next to me, talking to this girl, talking all about me. I'm trying my best to ignore her. And then cause she got get louder and louder, and I had to. And then she when I confronted her, and then she gonna say, help.
They said it was the same help that she was doing at the airport when she got into it with that guy. Y'all was across. They said y'all was watching from across, right?
Yeah, we looking like, and it was the same help. She started it, and then she played a victim, and
So
everybody. Yes, he didn't care. All the comments were saying that. But when we went on Twitter, on X, you should have saw all the comments. Then people commented like, that's why she keep erasing those tweets, because people comment like, don't be starting over there. Don't put our name in nothing. People come at her, and then they messaging me like, Danny, we told you this girl was best. Stay away from her. We know who you all are. Stay away from her. See, so people know who she is. And I want to tell you all this. Chicago, we're not divided. Everybody who want to make Chicago great again, everybody who want to make a change in Chicago, we're on code. We get along. She is the op. We can't include her because she's the op. But everybody else, we on code and we're together. So don't concern yourself about that. Chicago, we're together. Our mission is clear.
And this is, I need all our followers and people who do support us or support each individual or how you do it. A lot of people keep saying too in this group chat, in this chat, about me and Mr. Blakemore's relationship. Me and Mr. Blakemore relationship is me and Mr. Blakemore's relationship. Okay, Mr. Blakemore called me the other day and asked me to come down to the school yesterday and go down to the school board so he can explain to me the issues there. You understand? And I went. Me and Mr. Blakemore have our issues, but at the end of the day, that's me and Mr. Blakemore's relationship. So try to like make it seem like like me and Mr. Blake, like we're disrespectful. I mean, Mr. Blakemore disrespectful too. You understand? However, me and Mr. Blakemore relationship is me and Mr. Blakemore's relationship, and he knows that, and we know that. Mr. Blakemore is a person that will always be a part of my story, because if it wasn't for Mr. Blakemore, I wouldn't know how to maneuver in the city hall when it comes to these meetings. I wouldn't know how to maneuver when it comes to these committee meetings, and I wouldn't know about the PCB meeting. So when it comes to me, and so when it comes to our relationship, or me and Miss Jessica relationship with Mr. Blakemore, that's our personal relationship, and that's just that. So her trying to get on these, it's like the second or third time that I've heard, yes, Mr. Blakemore has called me out my name plenty of times, and he's called. He said some stuff about that's just Mr. Blakemore. You understand? However, Mr. Blakemore also is 82 years old. Right. You understand? So so when it goes to that, so yeah, because people kept saying that earlier in the chat, like, yeah, she was saying that, y'all disrespectful to Mr. Blakemore and stuff. I said, and I said, and I could come out and say stuff that she said about Mr. Blakemore when it comes to other people in her group. You understand? But I won't, because Mr. Blakemore supported her group. You understand? Mr. Blakemore, Michael Young Bay and his family supported her group. You understand? People really, really were trying to work with her. Yeah. But it was all about her. And like pushing her. And then if anybody said anything, it was, I don't know why they're doing this to me. Girl, you the biggest bully in Chicago. Yeah. You are the bully. You are the bully, my girl.
And let me just say this about y'all relationship. When I experienced their relationship, and I tried to, they'll Mr. Blakemore go at Zoe, and he'll go at first I'm like, whoa, and I try to make the peace, and he's like, I ain't talking to her, whatever like that. And then I realized, and then they'd be right back together. Zoe get on that mic, and Mr. Blakemore, they'd just be arguing, and Zoe get on that mic, he'd be like, go, Zoe, tell him. After that, I shut up and I let them have, because I realized what their relationship is, they'll cuss each other out tomorrow. Mr. Blakemore will cuss you out tomorrow. Or in 5 minutes, and the next minute he gonna be like, yeah, so that relationship, I had let that look, what did I do though? I said I ain't gonna never get involved with that again, because you all
so that's my thing. Like, we're this is new. And this is new for a lot of us. This is our civil rights movement, and so we're all, I'm still a student, you understand? And like I've always said, I don't care who drives the car as long as we get there. However, if we keep taking the wrong exit, I'm going to get out the car and I'm going to go rent me a car and I'm going to take myself there. Okay, because I do not have time to be going back and forth when our ancestors did all the hard work. They did all the heavy lifting. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have to do as much. All we have to do is unite. Yeah. And that is the problem. But when you got people like P. Ray and that's trying to infiltrate because she's a paid agitator from Brandon Johnson administration, then you got to do stuff like this. However, after this is the last time we're speaking about her. Okay, this is, so if anybody asks me about P. Ray, I will tell y'all to look at this. Everything will be on this. But as far as this, everybody is trying in Chicago to get Chicago back to where it was. I don't know, what her situation is. I think her thing is, and it's not, and I'll say just not her. It's a lot of people that don't want Chicago to turn red because they're so used to Democrats. But the Democrats have showed you for the last 40 years, we say 60 years, but it's really the last 40 years. The last 40 years that no one has our back. I say this a lot. Marion Barry was a very good mayor for DC. that's why he will forever be a lifelong mayor, because he created a lot of Black jobs for our kids in the summer, and he created a lot of federal jobs for black people in DC. That's why DC was first chocolate city. And we really honestly have not had a mayor like that since, that was for us. And regardless of what he was doing on his off time and stuff like that, no one cared in DC because he was taking care of the people. That's why he kept getting voted back in. And that's not the Democrats that we have here, nor back then. If a lot of people would have took their lead like they took with him, like if Jesse Jackson and them would have really been about the people like they were about the people, then at the end of the day, Democrats probably would have had a chance here.
Mm-hmm.
But however, it's not like that. And because of that, if you look outside, there's no possible way anybody is going to continue to vote that way. And this is the time to take over. And Chicago needs a change. This to turn to a communist city. Yeah. This is not right. And it's hurting our children. It's hurting our seniors. It's hurting our infrastructure. We are economically oppressed, and we've been economically oppressed by our own people for the longest. And so you have a person like P. Ray who talks that stuff, talks a good game, but then when we're about to make a change, you're told by your handlers, because Brandon Johnson and them are your handlers, and they're telling you, nah, you got to break that shit up over there.
Mm-hmm. If only she had the power.
If only she had the power.
Yeah, she ain't got the power. Yeah.
Yeah, but she says she's a trained politician, and we know politicians are liars. So basically, what you're saying, you're a trained liar.
Yeah, because she sure said she was a trained politician. Yep.
And trained by who? Democrats.
By the Democrats. That's what all I want to know.
Would you say she a Republican by day, Democrat by night?
As Ms. Jessica say, right?
Yeah. So, but as I say, you could take the girl out of the Democratic Party, but you can't take the Democrat out of her. So, we're gonna find out when if Davis give her seat, she gonna be blue again.
Yeah, she's never gonna get that seat, because honestly, Danny gonna die in that seat. Okay, him and that stick. So that's never gonna happen. She's not gonna get any other seat because she's not well liked. And she knows that. And she probably could have been well liked, but honestly, no one likes P. Ray.
Nobody do.
Chicago don't like P. Ray. White Illinois don't like P. Ray. Black Chicago don't like P. Ray. Black Illinois don't like P. Ray. Asian Chicago don't like P. Ray. Asian Illinois don't like. The Puerto Ricans don't like her. The Hispanics don't like her. Yeah. No one likes her.
You got the black men.
At the end of the day, she really should just.
Black men don't like her.
Huh?
The black men.
Yeah, Illinois GOP don't like her. The Chicago GOP don't like her. So she really needs to go to Senegal. She need to go back to Senegal and fix their government.
Now you shouldn't have blocked it, because she was crashing out in the comments. She was typing 200 words per minute.
I couldn't, because I want her to understand that I really don't care about her. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she is. I have one thing that God has given me, and I love it. When I say I can disconnect like this, I can disconnect like this. So I'm Stevie Wonder after this. I'm trying to tell you, Stevie Wonder after this. I don't see her or anything like that, because I genuinely liked her, and I really thought that we could have made something big. Like, this is historical what we're doing. What Chicago is doing is historical. All of Chicago.
And you remember,
it's historical. This is all hands on deck. And I get that from Mr. Blakemore. Blakemore used to always say, all hands on deck, because the ship is sinking.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So that, we're making waves right now. We're doing something in the history that has never been done before in Chicago. You understand? And Black Chicago is leading that, and Black Chicago must lead that because that's the only reason why the state of Illinois is not red.
Not red, yeah.
And you remember right before the situation happened on Twitter, I told you, so we was talking when we was talking about the alderman seats. And I said, well, we need the West Side. So I'm going to reach out to them and see if we could do some things together. And you was like, yeah, you go ahead and do that. I'm not. And then she crashed out on Twitter like the next week. So.
And before she even did that to me, when we was down there in Washington for Brandon Johnson hearing, Zoe said, Danny, you know what? She had just said it. She said, Danny, you know what? I'm gonna hit P Ray up because I'm gonna try because, you know, maybe we just need to talk. Maybe we just need to have a conversation and stuff. As soon as she said that, she went live, talk on Twitter X, talking about us. She started making tweets, and then Zoe said, see, that's why we can't do it. And we tried listen, you all, we really, really, really tried our best to don't say nothing, to ignore it, to let it go away. We really tried. But at some point when you try to defame our name, and when you try to turn us what we're doing and try to stop what we're doing, then we had to address this. Now, once we address this, and we're letting you know out of our own mouths who we are, we don't get paid. Listen, let me just make this real clear. All of us have took our business. We have entrepreneurs. We have businesses. All of us have took a loss in our business for what we believe in, because we really believe in this, and we really want to change in Chicago, and we really believe in Trump. All of us have took a loss in our business. Everything we do, we pay for out of our own money in our pockets, that the money that we don't have. We want to thank all of you all who see in us enough to donate to us, because that's the only thing that had been helping us with these trips and things like that, is regular people like you donating and helping us. That's all the help we have ever gotten. Everything else we pay for out of our own pockets. So we're going to be really, really clear about that. No one is paying for us and helping us.
No one is. Yeah, thank you for people who purchase merch. Thank you. That's why I'm big on merch. That's why I'm big on t-shirts. I've always been like that, because I have a whole brand. It's called Uncomfortable Truth Lifestyle. That's what I was doing way before this. I was doing comedy shows. I was doing all that stuff. Like this came by way of, y'all are not going to do this to my mom, and you're not going to do this to my generational wealth, because I am an entrepreneur. Miss Jackson, y'all are not going to do this to a house that she was raised in South Shore. Again, South Shore, Hyde Park, Bronzeville, those are Black. That's the Black Mecca, Black Renaissance. That is the Black elite. That is the last part of where the lake is. You understand? Lake Michigan. That's very important. So you see the decline of what South Side was, what Hyde Park was, what South Shore was, what Bronzeville was. You know, when Miss Jessica was growing up, Mama Doris was growing up, my mom was growing up, all that to now. You understand? And so that's what, my thing is nah. And then on top of that, y'all are taking stuff out of our schools for our kids. So when they do get to adulthood, they're struggling. So then they're going to resort to crime, because you're taking everything out the schools, so they don't learn or not ready for adulthood. So it's about enough is enough. Like I used to tell my friends before I first started, like, man, we the new adults. Like, we got to get in this. You understand? And that's true. You understand? I don't have children. However, my friends have children. However, my sister has children. I have nieces. I've got kids. So, my thing is I got to do this for our future. So a P Ray's not going to stop me. Anybody else is not going to stop me.
Sure not.
Yeah.
And we want to just say to Vershawn, to Dennis, listen, we don't hold nothing against you all at all. This is not to hurt you all or to do anything to, because we do believe that you all really won't change, and we believe that you all are serious about flipping Chicago red. So
Yes,
this
and
is
like
no.
I told Mr. Dennis, that Vashawn and him should break off and do a conservative group for black men or another conservative group, because you can't have too many conservative groups. And Mr. Dennis knows about that Second Amendment, and that Second Amendment is very, very, very important, and that needs to be discussed more. And that's, like I said, she had no mission over there. If you go on her website, she has no mission. She had no mission. So she was never going to use the people that she had in her group who she had, we in our group, we have everybody. You understand? We have everybody that brings something important to Chicago Flips Red, and that is what an organization is supposed to be.
And Vashawn is very smart.
And I want to make this very clear. I am for profit and for people. For profit and for people. Okay, I am not going to sit here and tell y'all about no. I like money. I'm a cat. Okay. Because the more money I have, the more money I can help people. So again, I am for profit. I am for people. I just want to make that very, very, very clear.
Yeah. And Vashawn is a smart guy, so she could have utilized him really good, really well. But it was all about her.
Yep.
So,
any last questions? Anybody got any questions in the chat? You want to say anything, Molly?
No, I just want to say that by us being out there and having, boots on the ground, we're seeing way more than the public is seeing. And I just want to let everybody to know that we're being hit from every angle in Chicago. These people, they want to take over, the South Side. We take the South Side for granted, but these people see what's going on the South Side, and they have these major, major plans that people probably not even thinking about. So Chicago Flip Red, not only do we be downtown, we go to town hall meetings. We're not only fighting the Democratic Party, we're fighting these developers. Like, we really have the people's best interest at heart. And we thank you guys for all the support.
Yes.
Right. And we got little baby conservative. We got it all. And where is Kwame Raoul? We'll never know. You understand? But that's another video we gotta do. Because at this point, where is he?
And we would ask you all to please share this video. Please share it, because after this, you all know who we are, you know our stance, and we're not addressing her. So whenever you all see her say anything, just hit this link and put it under the video so people can see, because we're not addressing her again. She's at this point, after today, what you say it was though?
Stevie Wonder.
After today, our mission is clear. The devil would not, and it's not a distraction, you all. Believe me, when I said that on that video, we're focused. We're not letting the devil distract us. So don't think we're distracted. No, we're not. We had to deal with this, and now we back on, and we're going to keep going. And now any other distraction, we made it clear who we was and our stance. So all we're going to do is take this video and just let you all see the video. And that's it. We're not addressing nothing else, because we focus. We have to focus on our mission, our goal. And we know the devil only come to distract. That's all he got. It's distraction.
Steal and destroy.
And to steal, kill, and destroy. And so this is it. After today, we just had because she's a threat to Chicago. And that's the
op. She's the biggest op, and she's the biggest. That's that victim mentality that the Democratic Party uses, and they've been using that for a long time. And it's in her, and she has a lion spirit. She has a musty spirit. She has a weird spirit. And she has a Democratic spirit on her. And so we are going to, we pray. I pray for
I'm
her.
praying. I'm praying.
And that's it. I have nothing else to say about her. I'm done with this. It's Mortal Kombat to me. I mean, game over. And I really hope that she go get some mental health help. You understand? Because you can't be that type of person and then call yourself a leader and then get on all these platforms, like she was on Dana with the Data, they said, and bashing us with Judge Joe Brown, which I don't care. You understand? Judge Joe Brown. But anyway, I don't have nothing as far as like you. I don't care to get on any of these platforms and bring her up.
Yeah, and bash her.
I don't care. It's a bigger calling.
Yeah.
And it's not Patricia Easley.
Yep. And I'm praying for her. I'm going to pray that God will touch her heart. And I'm very serious that he will touch her heart, and whatever she's dealing with, that he will show her who she is, and that she would repent from all the things she's dealing with, because she know what's wrong, and she will repent, and then she may come back to us and apologize. And if she come back to us and apologize, and she start working with Brandon Johnson, she really, really, really serious about Change Chicago, we got forgiving hearts. We're not like that, but she can't. She's a threat right now, and she's
no. I'm never. She's never. No, it's done. Yeah, the forgiving
it's a
heart
long history.
It's absolutely.
It's a long
not.
history.
Yeah, I don't know.
We can forgive somebody and not mess with them.
Yeah, but I know. Yeah, but I'm not speaking to her, not collaborating with her, no,
okay.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we can't let history repeat itself.
Not.
We don't need a Jesse Jackson.
No.
Okay.
Speak like Miss Jackson said over here and here. Speak for yourself, Danny.
Okay, what I'm saying is, we can have a forgiving heart. We don't mean we got a mess.
We have a forgiving heart, but she's not. Hell no. We're this.
And this is the thing. Not. She did it publicly, so she would have to apologize publicly. You got me tongue twisted.
Yeah. Okay.
to get any forgiven. So you're doing something wrong when you got to go back and delete stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. She deletes everything. She probably deleted that Brandon Johnson thing, because what she thought by saying that, I'm no longer going to talk about Brandon. She thought that we were going to be like, okay, yeah, no. We see everything that he's doing. Like, again, me and Miss Jessica is down there. We're watching how these people vote. We're seeing what they're doing. Like, there's nothing you can sit and tell me about when it comes to Brandon Johnson being for Black people. The fact that he's out here lying this week and saying that he spent 20 times more on Black Chicagoans than the migrants.
Maybe he's talking about his own people in his cabinet. Those are the Black people he spent the money on, the money they stole because the Black neighborhoods didn't receive it.
Not $1.
Right. Those are Black people.
What Black people are you talking about?
In his cabinet, like you said, Molly, in his cabinet.
Is he to you?
Yeah. So absolutely not. Somebody says, do we have any future events planned in the city? We have Red Hour April 6th. You can email Chicago all hands on deck at gmail.com. We have Sunday dinner that's coming up. That's another event that we do in the city. You can also email Chicago all hands on deck at gmail.com. We are working on our first rally. So we will let you know about that soon. It will be in April. So all hands on deck when it comes to that. And support all of us. Danny's a trainer. Fuqua can help you when it comes to getting you a house and making sure it's brokered right, the deal is right. Me, I'm just me right now. You know what I'm saying? You need some help with some laws or anything like that, or ready to meet me because it's RICO time. So I'm trying to get the feds here. So that's what my focus on. And April 15th, I'll be back down in City Hall. So I'll be down there. So please greet me and bring me some cookies. And Molly got a lot going on. She helps us with the lots and all that stuff.
We're trying to get them to give us these lots. They belong to us, and we want them. They throwing these lots to the developers like throwing out candy on Halloween to the kids. and we want our lives. We want our lives back. Power to the people is really what Chicago Flip Red is about.
Giving
We
the
pay
people
these
back
people
the power.
salary, and but yet they act like we work for them, but they really
Yup.
work for us.
Yeah,
So we got to check them and make sure they know who employs them, who feeds their family. It's us, not the other way around.
Yes, and please contact all your aldermen, y'all state reps.
Yes.
And say it's RICO time.
Tell them it's RICO time.
Yeah, please send that. I would love that if y'all could send all y'all state reps and all the 20 aldermen, the 20 black aldermen and the 50 aldermen, the disgraced 50. It's RICO time. Where is our money? It's RICO time. Trump is coming.
And you know what?
When they know you're watching and you call them out, like we've been calling out some certain people, you see a change in their behavior. So, like one alderman used to miss work all the time. She would never go to a meeting. That was brought up. She hasn't missed a meeting yet. Another alderman never spoke at a meeting except if it was Founders Day, a resolution, a birthday, or some BS like that. We brought it up. She just spoke at a meeting, even though she said words out. She said a whole bunch of nothing, but it's a start, you know. You don't expect change overnight. So we need more people to do it, and it's going to be do their jobs.
And if you all, this is another thing, whatever district you all stay in, please send me videos. Like if you got videos of trash, a bunch of trash that's in your neighborhood. If you got a bunch of abandoned buildings, if you just riding down the street and you tired of seeing all those abandoned buildings, take a video of it. If you stay where illegals are and you see what the illegals doing, please take a video and start sending it to y'all can send it to me personally or Chicago, but on my messenger on Facebook, Danielle Carter Walters. Y'all can send that to me personally. Please send me, and that's just let me know where you live at, what district you in, so we can put all of them on blast and show your community. So if you just see all that trash, see whatever you see that you're not happy with, please take a video. Tell me what district you're in, and just Danielle Carter Walters or Chicago All Hands on Deck, but I don't know how big the file is, if we can get it, and just send it to me, and we will put it out there. You can be anonymous. I'll put it out there, and we'll put your aldermen on blast, so we'll let them know what's going on in their community.
And I'm gonna start pulling out, and I'm gonna start reaching. I'm gonna start calling out the commissioners, because I like Commissioner Cole. Commissioner Cole is streets and sanitation. Commissioner Cole, where's streets and sanitation on the south side? Because we pay just the same amount of tax as the north side up there. We need you. I don't care. I don't want to hear nobody say, well, that's because we throw it on the trash. Well, there's no trash cans. There's no trash cans. Stop. Yeah, nobody should have to walk 3 miles for a trash can. So why we need trash cans on the south side and the west side. I live on the south side. Trash cans with like on every corner, and we need streets and sands over there. Now, if you put the trash cans in the right places in our communities, on top of streets and sands coming over there, and then we still putting trash on the ground, then we're going to hold a town hall, because at this point, it's us, but it's not us now. You understand? So we need the same type of community. City of Chicago resources that where our tax dollar is paying.
Well, like Mr. Blakemore said, all goods and services.
Yes, we need all that. Yes,
we need all that. All the TIF money y'all laundering and bonds and stuff like that. The least y'all can do is and y'all got us out here empty lot, and it's a lot. Y'all got us over here looking like this. Our elected officials. So the least you can do is give us our lots. Molly wants the lot next to her house that she purchased. You understand? That she keeps clean, and she's going through a lot trying to get that lot. You understand? It's just a lot. However, it's another story. I mean, another time. But any last words?
Yeah. So please, my Danielle.
Everybody go around one time about P. Ray.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So P. Ray, We tried to really avoid this. We tried to, but now you gave us no choice. And like we keep saying, it's no division in Chicago, you guys. Please don't worry about that. We are all together. Trust me. The mission, what they say, the marathon will continue.
The
All right.
marathon will continue.
Continue.
As far as me, I'm blocking anybody that tries to start stuff between us, because you also are a messy and you oppie, and that's usually and I'm starting to see it's a lot of these like older men that's starting to do stuff like that, which is weird, because you should be out here riding with us, so you should don't try to put us against each other or anything like that. You will be blocked. I have no problem blocking anybody, and then when I see you, acting like I don't even see you. Okay, like I really do not care. Like God gave me that gift. I'm either super into it or I'm not. And so please don't reach out to me. Please don't try to start no mess after this. Please don't try to screenshot me what she said. I do not care. She's muted on everything out here, and she's muted from here too. I don't care about her. She's it's done. I said what I had to say about her. Like I said, I wish her the best when it comes to whatever she got going on with her life, but I don't care. You don't have to tell me. I don't care about anything when it comes to Patricia Easley. I don't care if anything was to happen to her. I do not care. That's just how. Yeah. So please, like I'm not into it. If she apologized, great. If she don't, I don't care. Honestly, I'm not hurt about it. I'm not upset about it. I'm on a totally different level. I'm trying to get us to where we need to be, and we have a good support system, and we appreciate everybody that supports us, supports Miss Jessica, supports myself, supports Danny, supports Fuqua, supports Molly, and supports the rest of our core members. And that's it. We got ChicagoFistRed.com. You can look to see what's going on. They're working on our second newsletter, Chicago Flips Red newsletter, and we posted something on Chicago Flips Red X. And if you guys didn't read it, you guys should go and read it. And that's it. That's how I feel. Anybody else?
Yeah, I really don't know her, so I really don't care. I only met her one time, so it's nothing to me. But I know last week when we did the show on Cincho Lopez, and we talked slightly about it at the end, she unfollowed me after that, so I told y'all she was watching. So I unfollowed her right back. Now I won't be able to see negative comments coming down my timeline, and that's fine. So people also asking in the comments, did she send the boys after me? No, she didn't. Nobody showed up. So I was asking who her man so I could talk to him. And, if it's personal.
Now, if it's a personal issue, I'm easy to find because I'm outside.
And I'm easy to find. I'm Googleable. You know what I'm saying? So all you got to do is type in Fuqua. Just go pop up. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate it had to come to this. Zoe has, for the longest, has been staying away from it. Saying, I'm not going to talk. I don't care. That's her main line. I don't care. Fuqua, I don't care. So it just came to this because it started getting out of hand. But you won't hear, you won't see me tweet. She had me tweeting so much, I was sounding like one of these CPS kids that can't read. So,
you was real upset.
I know, because I don't proofread my tweets. But then I go back later, I'm like, damn. I didn't go.
Justin, I'll proofread. Look, because my phone, it do auto check. You know how you try to put one word in and it replace it with another word. And right. That's what my phone do. So I don't even just proofread it like that. Then, like you said, you're like, whoa, what the heck? But that's how it was, because you be so okay.
I'm like, what the nerve? I'm like, I got some jokes. And I had some jokes ready. That's all we do is talk about each other. So I got some shots. As a kid, I got a switch, 30 clip with a switch on it. I ain't even let them all go.
Yeah, I ain't even say nothing. The only thing I said was like, ain't no way in the world Fox paying you and you can't afford laundry detergent. Like, ain't no way in the world that you are a paid analyst for Fox and you just keep forgetting this laundry detergent. Like, that's wild to me. And you out here talking crap about us.
Right. right.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was like, that's odd.
And talking about my body. I'm like, you obsessed with my body. Like,
yeah, obsessed with it. Obsessed with it. Matter of fact, somebody just sent me a text saying, I definitely need Danny's number. My back is big.
Yeah, I'm a trainer, you all. Before this, I train everybody. Well-known trainer, get your results fast, but this is direction, so hit me up. Like I said, we'll have, Zoa put the, if you want to email, Chicago Has on that,
right.
Or You Against You Fitness on my IG, think You Against You Fitness. Y'all just hit me up for training, because yes, I definitely still train and all of that. Yes.
Yeah, Danny, one of the best. She gets you right real quick.
Real quick.
Yes.
Molly.
And Molly got anything to say? You was there.
My
You was
name
there
is
when
Molly,
they was fighting.
and I approve
You
this
gotta say that one thing. You was there at the airport when you sent me that
video.
Yeah,
me and Molly.
Oh, helpless, hopeless, screaming for help.
Yeah.
Help!
The same thing she was doing in that city council. Help!
Yeah, but so didn't you say she told you she was gonna do that at a meeting?
Yeah.
Me?
No, Zoe. What meeting you say
she's gonna cry tears? So that's what she did. She's an actress. That's what she really need to get into.
Yeah. She's acting. Yeah, she's
she's definitely.
Well, here's the whole thing. When we were at the ball, she didn't recognize us. So don't recognize us in the airport when you need help.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
okay.
Because they was fighting with Chicago Red. While Chicago Fifth Red was across, looking at them, just shaking their head.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got through the airport just fine. We were just fine.
Red stuff on, right?
Yeah,
we did.
Hoodie on, and they had on their stuff. So
yeah.
It was them Party City hats. That's why Party City.
But see, at that time, we didn't, that's before all this stuff. So it was still concerned, like, what's going on? We ain't going, we wasn't just going to let it be like whatever. We was concerned too at that time, because she didn't start all that crazy stuff before then.
Right.
So we were trying to be like, what's happening? If it was like that. But now everything, like everybody told us. And let me say this, I'm the type that somebody can tell me something about a person, and I'm not just going to automatically take that and not like you because somebody said that about you. If that's not my experience with you, that's just not my experience with you. I'm going to be like, hey, she cool with me. But everything I was told about you is true. Everything.
I thought she was cool at first too. But you know what they say, when the grass is low, the snakes will show. Yeah. And that's what happened.
And it's so hard to say goodbye.
Hey.
All right.
I know everybody wondering.
Next Friday.
I don't know why liars lie, but I can tell you this.
Bro, did we
set the record straight? Are you kidding me?
We set the record straight. So
can you play that one more time? Play it one more time.
Well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie, but I can tell you this. And he knows it's a lie. So why would he say it? Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie.
And that's that piece, y'all. Famous Friday, next Friday. And guess who it is?
Who is it?
What was that one?
Gotcha, bitch.
I can't wait till we're able to really see all the stuff and stuff. We're gonna get that together. But for the next episode, next Friday, it is 5th Ward Alderman Desmond Yancey. We're about to make you famous. We're about to make you famous, Alderman Desmond Yancey. Mama
Yes.
Doris, this is for you, Mama Doris. Is dedicated to you, Mama Doris, and Sister Erica.
Yes. So make sure you all tune in, especially if that's your alderman.
Yes. All right, that's that. Peace, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Gotcha, bitch.